Welcome in to a Tuesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show. As always, driven and powered by our friends over at Ghost Chevrolet. Shout out to the crew over there, Lee Carney, Nick Richard, and the entire team at Ghost Chevrolet. Go Express Auto Sales over there on Florida Boulevard, right near Sherwood Forest. Good to have you in on this Tuesday morning. Appreciate you starting your day with us. If you don't mind, hit that like button, share button, comment button. See a couple of you starting your day with us. We appreciate that here at the New DL. Couple of shows in the books, boys. How we feeling?
Feeling good. How you feel?
I feel good.
Good. About to set up.
Get the kinks out. We're still working on it.
About to set
okay.
up. I might throw this thing on Facebook here in a second. See if that works. I might test the limits of this bad boy.
No more live audio on
That's
the
what I'm doing.
website?
I have to make sure the stream was
Website?
website. Look, they all go to 7. As many tentacles going out. Just want to make sure the YouTube is up first to make sure. No more buffering. You people complain about everything. Take what you get.
It is a very busy day for sports out there as LSU will be playing in the Tax Act Texas Bowl tonight. Kickoff set for 8 o'clock.
Love it.
I may have fallen head first with some tickets for tonight. Came out last.
Basketball?
This last second. Yeah.
You in?
Maybe.
All right.
I may have gotten offered some tickets.
Maybe sounds good. Maybe sounds like a win.
You're in it, huh?
In, for sure. Picking up Little J back to school after the hiatus, the holidays. A tough day as a kid. Always that day of going back to school was one that you thought would never come, but that Tuesday morning when you wake up and it's time to jump in the shower, brush your teeth, get your book sack on, make sure you grab your lunch, comb your hair on the way out, hit that collar.
When's the next big break? How is he's in for
Spring
the long
break?
haul? So this is
You're kind of.
That's the big.
It's a big stretch right here.
Yeah,
big stretch.
Well, Mardi Gras.
Yeah, Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras.
I don't know what's going on with Mardi Gras for the days that they've missed, and I mean, look, man, school schedules are so out of whack now. But back to school for the kids. Be safe out there. I know a lot of celebrating parents, especially the fact that Relief Med is as it goes legal officially today, right? Is it the 4th?
I think it was legal. It was legal the first.
No, it was legal the first, but like the shops for getting them. Like
I think there's big orders coming in.
The trucks are backing up to the shop today. As a big day for, and it's been a big event for the state of Louisiana starting off here in 2022. But huge day of sports. LSU football taking on Kansas State. The JV squad, 38 scholarship players for LSU, taking on Kansas State. Still a lot of high-end players on the field. LSU is, last I saw, 4.5-point dogs?
Yep, already got the bet in.
Well, for football?
Yeah.
7.
They're
Wow.
7 now.
Okay, so
I kind of want to go back and take 7. I took it when they were at 4.
On the other
cancel
end of
the bet.
spectrum over there, I got
LSU 7.
I
I
got
want
Kansas
7.
State at 4.5. Now I might double dip and go get LSU at 7 and get to have a bet both ways.
LSU at 7 seems like a lot of points.
That's a lot of points,
I mean, we'll talk about it with Shea, but you see why it went to 7. We had the early lead on this thing. That's why I hopped on it a couple of weeks ago, because we knew the dire circumstances LSU football was in, and it seems like the rest of the media has caught up after the bowl fiascos that have already taken place. LSU is probably the one that's been hit the hardest that is still going to try to participate in a bowl game.
So we'll talk about the bowl. Shea Dixon is going to stop by from Houston, Texas. He will be here at 8 o'clock this morning, so 1 hour from now. And then a huge night at the Maravich Center. LSU hosting Kentucky. Kentucky coming in here playing some pretty confident basketball as always, with some high-end players, as they got a couple of 5-stars that are going to come in here. And going to give LSU hell. LSU looking to bounce back after the Auburn game. No Brandon Murray. It looks like Murray's going to be out again tonight as he's dealing with a hamstring problem. We saw LSU try to compensate that with Justice Williams last time on the road with Auburn. And shout out to Justice as he gave you really quality minutes, man, to Williams. As man, that's a tough spot to cut your teeth in college basketball.
He played well. He played well for everything that he had to go through. I mean, he hasn't played 1 minute until the Auburn. Hey,
he hadn't dribbled a ball yet.
Willie said, hey, coach, you don't really know yet what's going on? Get in there.
Yeah.
The best place in the SEC, go get maybe the number 1 team in the country.
And that's how he looked. Kind of like, I don't even know. I'm just going out there and playing.
Then he made it 3. He made a little layup.
He made a little runner.
Yeah.
No, he played well.
He's supposed to be a senior in high school.
He can shoot, though. I think.
Oh, yeah.
And Will's come on here and said that. He said that, hey, Justice Williams he's gonna be capable. He's gonna help us. He can shoot, and if he can. And this is like I don't know if he's gonna when Brandon Murray comes back. I don't know if he's gonna have that type of role. But if over these next couple weeks, however long he's out, and he starts finding his feel from the 3-point line, and we have that 3-point shooter, like that's
a
helps
weapon.
out a lot because we don't have a consistent 3-point shooter that you can get the ball to. I mean, you have Days, who's probably our best 3-point shooter, but he hasn't really been feeling too hot.
Well, he hasn't. Daves can't really step into that 3-pointer role because of when you lost Ace Wolf. Days had to kind of fill that role as I'm going to be the primary scorer. So you haven't seen Days in that comfortable role that we thought we'd seen him when he came back as a 3-and-D 3-point shooter.
Liability defensively.
Here's what really confuses me. That first 2 games of the season, Days was pump faking two dribbles mid range. He was shooting threes off the dribble. He wasn't just a pick and pop guy anymore. And I haven't seen that in the last 12 games.
The ball, as Wade has said a couple of times, has stopped on offense. Their offensive efficiency is very poor. They are going to have to improve that tonight and make sure that they cannot start slow. You know, look, I know that being on the road and being at Auburn, that was a tough environment. We were there that night, and it was a tough place to play. But at home versus this Kentucky team, with their ability to rebound the basketball and really force you into just one-shot possessions. We'll talk about it more coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show, but it should be a dynamic atmosphere inside the Maravich Center. Dale Brown will have the court named after him. I think there'll be a ceremony both before the game and at halftime. So I expect, even without the Brown ceremonies, I would expect this place to be at full capacity come for the 6 o'clock tip-off. On ESPN as LSU will be hosting Kentucky, and we'll talk about it more coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show. As always, we are brought to you by Metropolitan Health Group. Our phone line is sponsored by Metropolitan Health Group, so anybody who appears on the phone today, Shea Dixon will be here at 8 o'clock this morning. That is compliments of Metropolitan Health Group. True Blue Water is our official water, trubluewater.com. And Mikey Matuk officially has taken over Majestic Coffees. As Majestic was the early leader of 2022. It took about 3 days to get settled in, and then threw a right hook this morning and knocked Majestic down on the ass.
Didn't make it through 30 seconds with me in this round.
No, he admitted defeat early though. Then he came back.
He came out. Strike one.
Majestic came out hot, threw a couple haymakers early on, and then once I dodged that, I landed one right hook.
0-2 count, had to foul a couple off.
Yeah.
Timed you
Took
up.
him deep.
Sucker.
Yeah,
That's
watched it fly over the wall.
Can't throw 3 fastballs in a row.
No.
That's right.
Not gonna happen.
Majestic Coffee is the coffee here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Remember, DeliciousSips.com. DeliciousSips.com. So a huge day for sports. How are you taking this in? LSU Kansas State tonight. Obviously, huge storyline, and I can't wait to see how kind of the national media plays this up. The broadcast tonight.
Who is on the broadcast?
That's a good question.
I mean, that's kind of how you know how good or bad your games are.
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
Who they put on the broadcast.
You're right. LSU Kansas State obviously is going to be at 8 o'clock, which is crazy that it's at 8 o'clock. Coverage ESPN. Let me see if I can't find I can't find it. I'll find it though.
Hey, completely separate conversation. How miserable was the Monday Night Football game, guys? I mean, I don't know if y'all watched it.
The weather?
The weather, the actual gameplay on the field. I mean, it was Big Ben's last home game. Baker Mayfield's dead.
Toast.
Yeah.
Dead, coach. Like, their offensive line stinks. You had J.J. Watt, not J.J. Watt, what's his brother?
TJ.
T.J. Watt had
creative in the
4
Watt
sacks
household.
last night. He's 1 sack away from breaking Strahan's record.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's 21 and a half sacks this year. Actually, he's a half a sack. I think he's a half a sack away.
Who do they
21
play
and a half.
next? They'll probably get it. I mean, he's been.
Well,
he's
he has
been
to.
a
They
stud.
have to win.
Yeah.
They have to win to make the playoffs.
Could have fooled me last
Yeah,
night.
but
Thought
now
it was their last
this
game
is
with
but
Big
this is
Ben.
this
My
is like
God.
the first. This is like the first record that you would say, okay, here's an asterisk because the 17-game season.
Oh, definitely.
Season's over with. You shouldn't get my record. I only played 16 games. Now you got 17. He's definitely going to get it. I know people don't really care about the Steelers, but I think that's a pretty cool thing.
The Big Ben send-off last night. LSU is going to be on center stage tonight as they take on Kansas State, and the storyline is going to be that they have 39 scholarship players. As we said, the line has swung here now to Kansas State -7, as that game will kick off over where the Texans play, NRG Stadium in Houston. So it'll be on a professional playing surface at 8 o'clock tonight. As we said, it looks like they're trying to work some magic with Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah,
I don't know how to read the
that?
Nussmeier story here.
So who tweeted that? That was that Kurt?
Birdie
No.
Miller,
A player said, "Let's go 5."
Oh, that was John Trey. John Trey's playing the game, I think. I think he feels like he's going to play quarterback, and he wants other people to think he's not.
But what are they trying to do?
I think that they're trying to get a waiver from the NCAA that Nussmeier can play with the – really, they're probably claiming like just the mismanagement of him. And, you know, if they can
blame one more thing on the past regime. Like, look, we were handled a pile of shit here.
Right.
Can we play with a quarterback, please? And they're going to say no.
And I think that's been denied.
Yes.
Is it?
So now it's kind of on Nussmeier, to what I understand.
Which is unfair to him.
I think so too.
You can't,
right?
I mean,
that's a bad way to go into a locker room.
He wants to play.
He wants to play next year.
But he wants to play. Like he's not sitting there saying, "Oh man, I don't want to play this game." As a competitor and as a football, he wants to play in the bowl game.
For sure.
But he also understands that it's a wasted. Like I wasted a year of doing nothing on a messed up. I was not going to curse the first hour. Messed up season.
3 months in.
Yeah, like this was mismanaged. My whole redshirt season got messed up, and for my career, it's probably better for me not to play. But for being a competitor, and he loves LSU. He loves the guys on the team. You can tell he wants to do that for his boys, and it's like that's a hard position. You know what? If it was up to him, just him, nobody else in his ear, I think he plays.
If it was up to him, he's definitely playing.
Yeah.
I mean, fellas. He's an 18-year-old dude. He's you're asking
from
if he
Texas.
wants.
He's from Texas.
You're asking if he wants to play football. You know, I mean, of course he wants to play, but I think that there's got to be somebody behind him that's giving him some type of counsel that is.
What do you think his dad would be? I mean,
it's got to be his dad. I mean, it's got to be his dad, and I think that they're going to make the decision. I would be shocked if he plays. I really would. I would be shocked if Nussmeier was to play tonight. I'd even be more shocked if John Trey Kirkland was not the quarterback. And for some reason, as much as I've banged on LSU and their, the limited numbers and the roster that they're taking over to Houston, I think they're going to win.
Me too.
I really do. I mean,
I do too.
I think that they are going to win the game because when you think about the people that they are missing, and the defensive backfield is shredded, like shredded. Darius McGee is a starting.
You have Nichols
cornerback. Pig Cage is starting at safety.
Who?
Yeah, I mean a Nichols transfer.
I'm sorry.
Both of them are from Nichols. You have Nichols secondary at LSU right now.
No, Darren Evans is the other one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean he's the other starter. I mean you've got 2 Nichols transfers starting tonight in the defensive backfield.
What a dream for
what
them.
What receiver is going to play D-back? There's going to have to be a receiver.
John Trey.
They're going to put a receiver.
It would have to.
back
I mean, the only one that would probably fit the bill would be John Trey.
Well, he's playing quarterback. He's
both ways.
Both ways.
Punts.
Both ways.
Who's kicking?
Hey, last game of his career, he can't hold anything.
Can't hold anything back. Coach.
No Trey Palmer, who's returning punts.
John Trey Kirkland.
I mean,
no Cade York, who's kicking? John Trey Kirkland.
Cade York's not playing?
No, Cade York's playing.
Oh, I was like, geez, come on, dude.
What did we do yesterday? They got people fired up.
BJ.
Yeah, we joked that BJ was
He's playing in the national championship.
So, I mean, like you're missing some key ingredients and some position groups, specifically like the defensive backfield, has been raided. Like they've got no players. They've got no guys. And Shea Dixon is going to be here at 8 o'clock this morning. And was it Shea that was reporting that Cordell Flott is
out?
Is out?
Yeah, but I thought he'd been out. Like they haven't talked about Cordell Flott all.
Yeah, but I think that he's out and that he's turning pro. and that he's going to declare for the NFL draft.
Yeah, because he wasn't listed on the 2 deep, and they were like, well, it's alleged, but the rumors are
he still can come back, right? Like, is the NFL?
Yeah, you can go out there. You can go get the grade. You can go get the grade.
Yeah.
And he would be,
I think he'd be a first rounder next year.
He could be. If he came back, he could work himself into a first round pick.
Because nobody benefited more from the people leaving, nobody benefited more from Derek Stingley going out and Eli Ricks going out than Cordell Flott, because it showed he could play inside and outside, and he played great throughout, I would say, for the rest of the year.
100%.
So that's what he's thinking. He's
a sure tackler.
Yes.
Tackler. So, that's a huge thing in the NFL. This reminds me of, God, I just had his name on top of my head. Thurl Simon.
Yeah.
Thurl Simon came on. He was behind the first rounders. He got some time to play. Man, this guy's good. He's a big cornerback, and then leaves early. Ends up being like a 4th or 5th, whatever round he was drafted in. But you felt like if he came back for one more year, he would have been a top 2 rounder. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's kind of what that feels like.
It definitely feels like he could play himself into a top-end player. Keem, is Sage Ryan playing? Jeffrey says Sage is on the depth chart. I saw the same thing, Jeffrey. I wonder why Sage Ryan is not ahead of Pig Cage on the depth chart, and if that tells that he might be unavailable. Not as much unavailable like he's not dressing out, just that he might not be playing. I mean, I got to imagine that Sage Ryan is a starter over Cage at this point. When I saw that on the depth chart, that did not make any sense to me.
I just want to make sure I'm hearing you right. What's this kid's name?
Pig Cage.
Okay, I was hearing Pig. I just wasn't sure if it was Pig. Okay, so P-I-G.
He runs with it. He wants to be Pig.
Absolutely. Like he embraces it.
Oh, yeah. He gets in the mud.
Wow. Great snort, bro.
That wasn't.
That was a hell of a snort on demand there. Donnie T says, Jordy, what makes you so sure on LSU? Athletes, Donnie.
Athletes.
Really. I mean, 39 scholarship players, but in that 39, as we said,
you get it twisted.
It's a small number. I mean,
it is a small number when you're talking about scholarship football, and we're only talking about one game, right? Like it is borderline dangerous, but it's just one game. If you were playing multiple games and trying to do a season, this would be impossible. But in a one-game scenario, LSU versus Kansas State, who I don't know a lot about, right? But I know that when in comparison to LSU, they don't have the athleticism that LSU has in the numbers that LSU does. And LSU's down numbers. But still in that number 39, you've got Mason Smith. You've got Jaquelin Roy. You've got B.J. Ojolari. You've got Mike Jones. And that's on the defensive side. On the offensive side of the ball, and this is where the mismatches are going to be a problem. Late in the game, second half, maybe early on, they've got some they've got some schemes and they've got some things that they're ready for, and they limit LSU early because LSU's trying to break some new personnel in. They look a little confused, but they got enough athletes to hang around. And if you let a team of athletes or just a cluster of playmakers hang around, they're going to get you.
Yep.
And I think that that's what LSU is going to be in tonight, where they're going to get hit, they're going to get knocked back, they're going to get staggered a little bit. But once they kind of get their feet underneath them and they realize, hey, look, Jontre, you don't have to be Tom Brady. You don't have to be you don't have to be a dynamic player. Just go do what you do. Just go be relaxed and play football. If it breaks down, run it. And if you see something you like, throw it. I mean, it's very simple. It's an RPO, a couple of plays. They can't guard that, in my opinion, because they don't have enough athletes to worry about Jontre at quarterback. And then I got to guard Jack Besh, Malik Neighbors, Jeray Jenkins, and
Brian
Thomas. There's no way that Kansas State can match up with that.
So the first group of players that you said on defense, to me, is the difference, right? Kansas State doesn't throw the football all that much. They're not a passing team. So the little guys that we have, the little amount of guys we have on the defense, the strength of it is up front and a couple of linebackers. The defensive backfield is, like you said, shredded. It's gone. If the team's not going to throw the football and they're going to try to run it to the teeth of our 4 best players on defense, that is probably the best. Now, if this team was like Texas Tech or Mississippi State and they just throw the ball around, you have to cover all these receivers around the field, I don't see us being able to be able to do that because just pure depth. We have the depth. We don't have the depth, but we have the guys on the front 4 at least. And a couple guys on the linebacking core that these guys are going to be able to play, and they're going to be better than the guys that they're going against. Offensively, I'm not worried about it. Offensively, we have enough talent and we have enough guys to do it, but people are worried about our defense, and yeah, I am too. We don't have a lot of depth, but the team that we're going up against does not like to throw the football all that much, and they're not very good at throwing the football. So for me, if there was a game to play with 39 guys and being able to overcome that, I think this would be it.
Hayden Pears, Jontre has barely touched the field, Jordy. This is lunacy.
Is that wrong?
Yeah, I understand, Hayden, but I mean, like, this is a one-game scenario, and
it's fun.
You're in a situation where you don't have any other options, and guys like Jontre Kirkland are some of the best. He's one of the best athletes on the team, and he has a history of playing quarterback. Reed Wilson, why would Kansas State worry about LSU's wide receivers knowing that they can't throw the ball? Jontre Kirkland's about to surprise the hell out of everybody tonight. I'm telling you.
Well, here's the deal.
If you don't think that he can throw the football, just
hop on the huddle.
Yeah, I mean, just hop on his huddle right now and check out his high school highlights. I mean, the guy, he's not an SEC quarterback.
No.
Right? Like, he's not recruited out of high school to play quarterback in the SEC. He was recruited by certain schools like TCU, schools like, in the Big 12, ACC, to play quarterback. He wanted to go to LSU, and they used him as an athlete. They didn't know where to use him because he was such a good athlete.
Let's not expect to see these 15-yard in routes and these comeback and these complicated routes. Like, let's take that out of our heads, people. That's not going to happen.
He's not going through progressions.
What he's going to do is he's going to throw slant routes. He's going to throw curl routes. He's going to throw quick hitters. But he's going to get the ball out there to the athletes and let the athletes be athletes. He's not going over the field. He may try to throw a couple, maybe get a ball, run around and throw a ball deep. But you're not having a lot of double moves. You're not having a huge route tree from these receivers, and you're not asking Jontre to read a too high safety look and try to fit a ball in. You're not trying to do that. That's not what he's doing.
Brock TV, dude, this ain't 3A football. Yeah, but Brock TV is saying SEC football either. I mean, Kansas State is not going to line up and play you like Texas A&M and Alabama do.
And we may get egg on our face.
And you could.
Yeah, worst case scenario, it looks like the Broncos did against the Saints last year when Kendall Hinton
But it's not going to look that bad. It won't look that bad.
Came in and played quarterback.
It won't look that bad.
That's what I'm saying. That's worst case scenario. Yeah. Best case scenario, you think it's Jontre that's going to play quarterback,
Best
right?
case scenario.
I've heard B.J. Ojulari and Keyshawn Butte come through here the last 48 hours and say that he is. I mean, why would I not believe those guys?
Who was that kid? Who was that senior that was a quarterback? Came to college as a quarterback. It was a bowl game. It just happened.
Oh, Kentucky.
No, was it Kentucky?
That's what he played quarterback for the majority of the year.
I don't know who it was, but he played quarterback when he first got to the college. Then he moved to receiver. They didn't have any more quarterbacks. Needed him to come back for a game, come back to a quarterback for last game of his senior season in the bowl game, and he won. He led him to victory. What game was that? It was a bowl game. It was a college bowl game. You say worst case scenario is the Denver Broncos. Best case scenario is that game.
Yes.
Where this kid comes in, and now granted, this kid came in as a quarterback, but he was a receiver for the next 3 years, and then came back and finished as a quarterback.
Jack Carpenter asking, is it confirmed that Jontre Kirkland is going to play quarterback tonight? It is not.
And Nussmeier could play.
It has not been confirmed. I know that all that we are going on is that B.J. Ojulari and Keyshawn Butte. Ojulari, in the last 2 weeks, has said it looks like Kirkland is going to play quarterback, and then Keyshawn said that he had heard the same thing, just kind of through the locker room and through some of the chatter. So I know this: they're limited at that position, and he seems like a very viable option that would make sense for LSU. Is it Lynn Bowden from Kentucky?
No. It's I'm looking it up. It's not Lynn Bowden. This guy has played this year I'll find it. I'll find it.
So
She's on the hunt.
LSU Kansas State tonight. I really do. I mean, for some reason,
I
know I'm getting crushed inside of the chat. How it does make no sense, and how LSU is going to flow the football, and that this isn't high school, and you can't just take wide receivers and put them at quarterback and go win games. And I get that. I really do. I mean, I do understand that this was. It's just kind of a crazy scenario.
You're more betting against Kansas State than betting on LSU.
I am. And, it is unfair. People, you're giving rat poison to Kansas State. All right, man. I mean, if they're searching out the Jordy Culotta show on game day to get pumped up, more power to them, bro.
We are.
Y'all are going to get y'all's ass kicked.
Welcome.
Yeah, right. I think that I just think that when it comes to, if you let athletes hang around and you give them a one-game scenario, also don't discount the emotional charge that LSU is going to have tonight, playing for the last time for Durante Jones, playing for the last time for Andre Carter, playing for the last time for some of these coaches and staffers that they've been around, for the last, some of them 3, 4, 5 years.
Some of them 1 year.
Some of them 1 year. But some of them, as B.J. Ojulari said when we asked him about Andre Carter and the new defensive line coach that was hired, Kane, earlier this week. I mean, look, he said, look, I was mad about it. I was hurt from it. I was
didn't want to see it happen.
Yeah, I mean, he wanted to see Andre Carter stick. He wanted to see those guys, Durante Jones, be kept around. I mean, think about BJ's college experience at LSU. I mean, we talked about it. Mel Kiper had B.J. Ojulari as one of the fast rising guys on his mock draft coming out for next season. And Ojulari will now have played for 3 defensive coordinators in 3 years. 3 defensive line coach in 3 years. Right? I mean, like, just the instability of his experience.
And that's what Brian Kelly's trying to fix, right?
Right.
It feels like that's the reason. Yeah, that's the reason you made the hire, was because LSU lacked stability for so long. It felt like that you bring in Brian Kelly and trust whatever he's going to do nearly blindly, because everywhere he's been, he's brought stability.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
are you taking
South
a trip?
Carolina coach? It looks like is your guy. It looks like Joyner.
That's it. Okay, thank you.
Dak Joyner.
Oh, yeah, the guy that cried on the field when
Thank
they
you.
interviewed
There
him.
you go.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
All
He was
right,
really
that's it.
emotional. He didn't play like a lot of plays at quarterback, probably like 5 or 10.
But he won the game for him.
Yeah,
didn't
but he was Mr. Do-It-All. Like
Yeah,
he played DB, he played quarterback,
something
he
like
ran
that.
back kicks.
Or South Carolina had another game earlier. Is it last year, where it was like their fourth quarterback because of COVID. It was like a walk-on.
That was earlier this year, and they won. They won 2 straight.
And they
with
won
him.
that game. That's what I mean. So, like, look.
That's a testament to old Beamer.
Yeah, Beamer's got it right over there, man.
He's
Yeah,
got,
he does. He's got to
to
go in
wake
the
up
right
from that
direction.
concussion. That Mayo Bowl took him out.
Speaking of Shane Beamer picking up a former Oklahoma quarterback, as they picked up Spencer Rattler in the transfer portal. Another Oklahoma quarterback, Caleb Williams, enters into the transfer portal. Looks like Georgia going to serve him up a $2 million contract to land him.
Time, right? Is he going to Georgia?
It's Georgia, and from what I've heard, it's Georgia and Oklahoma. Mulhan Law Firm is, or excuse me, I'm sorry.
Oh,
it's
USC.
Georgia.
I was about to say, wait a minute.
Georgia.
Yeah.
It's Georgia USC. Mulhan Law Firm brings you the Jordy Culotta Show every day. Your local, reliable legal team with 50 years of combined experience. You can get in touch with them by dialing them up at 225-926-8533, and they can help you out with things like personal injury, business organizations, wills and trusts, succession and probate, family law, and entertainment law, which they've helped us out with building the FM Digital Network over here under the FM Digital Network umbrella. Mulhan Law Firm, online at mulhanlawfirmla.com. That is MAUGHAN, Mulhan Law Firm. As we said, can help you out with anything, stuff like wills and trusts, family law, entertainment law. Get in touch with them, 225-926-8533. 50 years of combined experience. They offer a wide range of services, all of it client-oriented. Your local, reliable legal team, Mulhan Law Firm, a proud supporter here of the Jordy Culotta Show. People are asking about tonight. It's going to be a hell of a night for entertainment with LSU fans for sure, man. As I was reading through and saw somebody said Jordy pumping up this game tonight. It's Brandon Lejeune. Man, Jordy's pumping up this bowl game like we don't have a basketball game tonight. Pack the PMAC and boot up.
You get to do both.
Yeah, we're going to do both over here. In fact, we are going to, we should,
No pressure.
should be able to show off one of our newest or one of our other rooms here that we are going to have outfitted for kind of like a watch party type scenario, right? You can't see the screen, but you can see us type deal. And
we really need to get someone to hook the sectional part.
Yeah.
We gotta find that. We gotta get that today.
Right. Got a lot to do today in that room.
Maybe get a little cover.
But we will going to go. We will go live at some point this afternoon in that room and have a watch party for everything that's going on for LSU. I'm going to the Maravich Center.
Looks like I may be there too.
Yeah, Matuk's in. I know Noah and Jack. Absolutely. Yeah. And then we will. I will come back here to the Noodle, into the stadium, and watch LSU Kansas State tonight. I think it's going to be a great day of sports for South Louisiana Tiger fans. I mean, whether you're going in Houston, or you're staying in Baton Rouge, or you're traveling in to the capital city to come to the basketball game tonight, there's just a lot on the docket to come to watch around LSU sports. So I think it's going to be a great day. And also, you're going to learn, I think, maybe not as much with the football program, but you'll see a lot of some things into the future. I'm anxious to see what kind of Brian Kelly. I'd imagine that he'll be interviewed at some point in tonight's game. So it'll be interesting to hear his take. You haven't heard a lot.
You haven't. I love Kelly. Love that.
Yeah, I do too.
It ain't about me, Coach. It's about the guys, and it's about me just fixing this from inside. And he's in the lab, dude. He's not talking to anybody, and I love that.
Yeah,
love that. Love.
So, I think you'll get a little bit of information from him tonight. You'll be able to see LSU on the field. You'll be able to see some of the future in certain positions.
The send-in.
With 39 scholarship players. I'm looking forward to it, man. Really.
Do you think he'll be at the game like a Billy Napier situation where he was on the sidelines doing interviews, kind of pimping Florida a little bit?
I don't know if he'll be on the sidelines.
I think he may be in
I think he'll probably be in the box. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that he'll probably be up there with.
Doesn't seem like he likes the distraction. You know what I mean? Like he hasn't put himself out in the media right now. He's been doing. I think he's probably gonna hey, this is these guys. Let them go. I don't want them to feel my
presence
aura on the field. Yeah.
No, I catch that vibe too. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that he's.
I wonder if that's what Billy did. I think he just came down for like a halftime interview, to where he was able to introduce the program. He needs to get his face.
Yeah.
He's trying to establish himself.
He's not
as
as recognizable
as
Brian Kelly is.
Established a brand.
Yeah.
You put a ticket down tonight?
What?
Would I put a ticket down? At 7 points, I would take LSU.
A little.
In fact, I mean, with the way that I've described it, I'm taking LSU in the money line.
That's
right?
what I was gonna say.
I mean, I gotta go. I'm gonna go. You know what? I took a bet. I took LSU when they're 4.5. I'm going back to the Casino today, and I'm gonna go put down. 7? I'm gonna go put money line. No, I'm putting money line for
there you
LSU.
Go.
And you know what? I'm gonna put about 4 different bets. Money line +7.
I gotta go cash my
a parlay. Yeah, we can do that today.
Let's do it.
It has to be afternoon. I got a little busy morning.
Oh yeah, Samuel Murphy says LSU money line parlay.
Yeah, love
that.
that.
+483.
Love that. I'm in there.
Wow.
That's worth a sprinkle, boys.
In there like swimwear, baby.
Absolutely.
I'm in there.
Cody Worsham's going to join us at 8:30 this morning. We'll preview tonight's game versus Kentucky. Looking forward to talking that one with Worsham as he'll be by and talk about it. But look, I think tonight LSU basketball, the formula is very simple. For LSU, in my opinion, to kind of start to get this thing right. They have got to start more efficiently on offense. Mm-hmm. They have got to start faster on offense. And I think that is going to happen more, at home. It'll be more conducive to doing that rather than on the road. But even in games at home, they have struggled to get going early, and maybe some of the changes in lineup you're going to have to make it, obviously, with Brandon Murray being out for extended time, and you saw Eric Gaines get the nod last time out on the road versus Auburn tonight. I wonder if he'll change up the lineup even more and see somebody like Tari Eason
I know he likes him come off the bench, but why?
Well, I think that, when you have your best player and leading scorer coming off the bench, it does a lot for the energy of the team. And when you can play with house money in a situation like that, you almost like try to squeeze as much as you can out of it. And I think that he probably over squeezed a game or two, like it's time. You got to put him in there because you got to get some type of you just got to get some type of production. You got to get some shots. I mean, and really being in that game and being in that arena last Wednesday night versus Auburn, they really did get good looks early on. And I know that they felt rushed, they felt tight, they felt like they were a little they felt like the moment was a little it was a little big. But they still were getting good looks at knocking down open shots. And you have to do that. You got to do that on the road. You got to do that, in those type of environments, and you got to do them in games like you're going to play in tonight. And LSU has to. They've got to start strong. They've got to start faster to really relieve a lot of their issues. I mean, to me, if they could get off the mat quicker, the fact that they brought that game within 6 last week in the first half shows you
they got to
who they can be.
Second too.
And really, once they broke the seal on scoring, did you see how fast they got to like 12? I mean, it was 18-1, and then like in a blink of an eye,
18-13.
It was like 23-18. 23-12.
I know, like we shoot better at home, right? Like obviously we don't shoot very well on the road. Now this is me it's just thinking a little outside the box, and I don't. So they have all these new technologies, different things. Like in baseball, you can put like the virtual reality, and you can face the pitcher ahead of time. You would think that at some point with the technology and the way everything's going in this futuristic type of world, there's a way to be able to change the sight lines to like the road game.
Oh, you want to like green screen it?
To where it's like, hey,
or like that defensive walkthrough room that LSU football has, like you could create,
they just put porn on the big screen now.
Or you just say, hey, we're gonna do it, and like your sight line to the basket
looks like this.
Looks like the arena that we're gonna be in, and so you can shoot around because the sight lines in basketball and the way the depth perception behind the goal, that's what makes the big difference.
Right, especially come tournament time.
And you would think that. I mean, obviously that's it's probably expensive to do or what, but like. I think that would be pretty beneficial to be able to see where you're trying to. And this is look. I don't know. I think it'd be something cool, right?
Sounds like you need to. That's $1 million idea. You got to keep on. Keep in the pocket.
Sarah Almeida, LSU does shoot better at home. They do, and they should get off to a quicker start tonight. But they have struggled offensively even early on in games at the Maravich Center. They've got to be able to score open shots. When they have open looks at the basket, they've got to be able to put them in. Kentucky is, they're a matchup problem too. I don't think anybody is as big of a matchup problem as Auburn is. I think that Auburn's like a Final Four type team when they're
Kessler,
right.
Bro, he's the X factor.
And they were right last week, but
because when he was out, they were good. They were okay. They were okay. But when Kessler's in the game, they're
totally different.
The pain is gone.
A totally different game.
Yeah.
I mean, he
wasn't that good at North Carolina either. That's not how he played.
He even had Tari.
Oh yeah.
Going up.
He made you realize like Efton's got a long way to go.
Yeah, for sure. But tonight, same type of deal. Big front line. Tashibwe, Oscar,
the big O.
Yeah, is that the 28 rebound guy?
5 offensive rebounds a game, 6 offensive rebounds a game. I mean, as Will Wade said yesterday, he's only got 2 guys on the roster that average 6 rebounds. I mean, that have 6 rebounds a game at all. Like, forget offensive. He is a monster on the glass, and another frontline problem that LSU is going to have to match up with again tonight. I think this is where Tari gets. He's going to have to. He's going to have to make his. He's going to have to make his hay with being physical again tonight.
I think Pinson showed a lot in the Auburn game.
Absolutely.
I think Pinson's starting to feel himself a little bit. He's going to realize, okay, I'm going to facilitate. Okay, I got to score. I'm the senior. I've been in these positions. I know I need to score. And look, I don't think that we're gonna shoot at some point. Someone's gonna get hot. Pinson's gonna get hot. Dave's gonna get hot again. Like, we're gonna start making shots from the outside. It's gonna happen. I truly believe that. And once that happens, the sky is the limit. Once you can extend a little bit the defense and you allow Tari and Pinson and Efton, all these guys to work inside and use their athleticism, I think that's going to be a huge difference. But you have to be able to make shots.
Another big player for Kentucky is Severe Wheeler. As you may remember a couple of years back, Wheeler absolutely torched LSU. This was when Anthony Edwards, who was the former #1 pick out of Georgia, went to Minnesota. He's with the Minnesota Timberwolves now.
What a god of a player that guy is.
I mean, a total freak. But Wheeler was the guy that killed LSU in that game 2 years ago. And he actually killed him in 2 games. He had, I want to say he had a double-double the first time, and he had a triple-double against him in bat. I mean, like, he went nuts.
Fuck around and get a triple-double, you know what I mean?
He did it. Right. He did it against LSU. And this is going to be a really good matchup between him, Severe Wheeler, and then Ty Washington, who is the 5-star.
Great names.
I was about to say, this is an all basketball team name.
Well, I mean, it's Kentucky.
I know.
Yeah, I mean,
they always seem to get the guys.
Here comes Big Blue, you know?
BBN.
And Ty. But it's going to be a hell of a matchup between Pinson, Gaines, Washington, and Wheeler. I mean, that is going to be yes, the front line, and Tashwibi is a problem. He is going to be an issue. And a guy that cleans up the glass, leads the country in rebounding, an absolute animal.
Is he a foul trouble guy? Like, does he? Because Kessler's not. Obviously, Kessler's so long that he can get away. But some guys like this, like they're super physical. Like they're easier to get in a foul trouble. Hopefully,
that's what you have to worry about with
you would hope
Efton Reed, because that's what happens.
Well, I mean, that's what happens to him routinely, is he gets in foul trouble every single game.
So if he's banging down there with a more experienced guy that is obviously a little bit more technically skilled at this point, I'd imagine you could see Efton Reed get into some more foul trouble again, and that's, like you said, a lot of minutes for Tari Eason.
He is, he's averaging 15 boards a game. He's averaging 6 offensive rebounds.
That's so frustrating,
isn't it?
I mean, that's got to be.
I mean, first things first. Find him.
Thank you.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Thank you. I knew it was out there. It's been there for 15 minutes. I just couldn't get up there and go.
I thought he was moonlighting as a little Uber Eats driver.
Hey,
we got to get Jackie on the payroll here. What's going on?
On the way home, to and from work. We're just gonna do a little Uber Eats.
So it's gonna be a great atmosphere, man. It's gonna be it should be another great environment, a great game, and as we said at halftime, and pregame, I think that there is a ceremony both in pregame and halftime for dedicating the court to Dale Brown. And it'll be a big night. Can
people get up? Stop like trashing Dale Brown. Like, I hate when people say, "Oh, Dale Brown shouldn't. Like, he's not that good. He didn't do anything." Like I get it. I understand the reason why people are saying that. But I mean, he did. I mean, he's had a lot of success.
There is a generation and a part of the fan base that are as loyal to Dale Brown as any character and figure that LSU has had come through here. But he's a very polarizing figure, right? And I think since his time away from LSU basketball, some of that time has it's rubbed people the wrong way, and I don't think that he apologizes for that. I don't think that's his personality.
Yeah.
What's his end game there? Why would he do that?
I don't know.
That's his personality. He's unapologetically him. What basically it comes down to. And look, I was
even at the detriment of his old university.
But it's not obviously not the detriment. His course get named after him.
Yeah, but it went through quite a ruckus to get there. It could have been very easy, and he could be welcomed back with open arms as opposed to the way he did it.
That's just the way. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Like that's probably what made him successful as a coach.
Yeah, he likes the attention.
And like he's not gonna. I don't know. Like there's just like the Shaq teams. Like you would assume that he was gonna win with Shaq, and he didn't. But I don't know. I was too young at the beginning. But looking back on it. Man, let's celebrate the guy. My whole point is let's celebrate this guy. Let's not, trash him because you don't like him or you don't like his personality.
What do you think the reception will be? I mean, I would imagine
it'll be Dale Brown. It'll be polarizing.
Yeah.
I think that it'll be full capacity tonight. I think that there will not be a seat in the house, And I think that the majority of the people are coming to watch good basketball between LSU and Kentucky, but there will be a section of people there that are showing up just to see
the Dale Brown show.
Their old Daddy Dale get the court named after him. And for those people, I mean, look, Dale Brown and I have had our differences. We've gone back and forth. He and I have made men's and really, it's crazy, have a really good relationship. I mean, he routinely sends me motivational emails. He routinely checks in.
Oh, you're the newsletter.
Not beyond the newsletter. Like I am I do receive the newsletters. I am in the mass emails. He sends them out, all throughout the day and night. But I will wake up some days with individualized messages and emails from Dale Brown just saying hello, asking how Jordan is, asking what's going on in my life. Just, kind of nice stuff, man.
Old age,
things,
bro.
Things that you would think in our relationship would not exist.
I don't know the history between y'all.
I could spell it out. I mean, we can go there if you. I mean,
we don't have to go there. I don't know if you want to go there.
I think that people want to know. I mean that there was a time period that Dale Brown seemed very jaded towards LSU and LSU basketball, and it was during the time of John Brady, and it was throughout some of the early parts of Will Wade's tenure. And when things started to get rocky for Wade, obviously the national media was turning on him, and the biggest voice was that was getting that was Dick Vitale. And there was just a lot of speculation where Dick Vitale was getting that information from. Like, you have to think about it out loud. I mean, Dick Vitale, at the time when he was spewing this stuff onto ESPN and into social media, he is the most recognizable face and name, or one of them, in college basketball. So when he hits tweet, or he sits down on SportsCenter and he makes these accusations and claims about LSU basketball when he has nothing behind them other than, just hearsay and opinions, that it affects a lot of people's train of thought. It affects the way that people will view LSU basketball. I mean, he has that type of cachet with his name, and people were wondering, who's telling a 75-year-old Dick Vitale anything that's going on down at LSU? Like, I mean, who could be Vitale's source at Baton Rouge? I mean, it's not like he's got boots on the ground within. He's not hanging out with the, he's not trading text messages with the equipment manager.
Right.
I mean, he doesn't have some inside source on.
I thought it was you.
On LSU basketball. And there was wide speculation because of the past relationship, and those two being historians of the game and having so much impact, that was kind of where that stuff was coming from. Now, it's been smoked out, and Brown swears that it wasn't. And, I mean, who the hell am I to say that it wasn't? But, it was just very curious. And
so is that where
I made a comment about that on the radio. Okay. And I said that. Like, I said it kind of almost in a matter-of-fact type way. Yeah. Right? Like, Vitale's getting his info. This is where I think he's getting his info from. And I said it, just kind of young, arrogant, and didn't think about the repercussions of what would happen to the people that I was saying that about. And obviously that pissed him off. I mean, that he didn't like that.
And that's okay. You can be pissed off about it. Cool. You can say it. And I didn't know there was a history. I was just bringing it up because I don't know. I've been out of the media. I'm in the media now, sort of. Out of the media before, so I had no idea that this was.
Oh, there's spats everywhere.
Yeah, I didn't know. Okay.
But like I said, since then, I mean, we've had our one-on-one, we've had our talk, we've had our discussion about it, and tonight they will celebrate Dale Brown. This has been for the Dale Brown camp. This has been a long time coming, and this has been a big push for people to try and get done. And I think once the board of supervisors at LSU was populated by people like Collis Temple, who was a former player and has a really strong voice was able to lobby and get something like this done. And here you go on Kentucky opening SEC home night. Dale Brown Court will be unveiled on national television. So I think it's going to be a huge crowd. I think it's going to be a huge night. And I think that LSU Kentucky is going to bring out the best and most, loudest emotional fans that LSU can provide tonight because they need the home court advantage.
Balcony Bengals are going to be nice.
They need the home court advantage.
They're
going to be nice.
This is a lineup around the building type game for the
absolutely.
students. Like you get there, it's a 6 o'clock tip off. You get there at what, like 2 o'clock?
No, it's 4.
I don't know.
4?
I've never been. No. Doesn't it feel like every time we play Kentucky, it's freezing cold outside?
Yeah.
Remember the big game when
the ice storm.
Booker was playing that game. We beat him. We beat him twice.
I was there.
And it was freezing. People were. I was sitting. We had a parking pass. So like we parked in. It was me and like 4 of my boys, and we're sitting in the front, and we literally sat there for 15 minutes just watching people bust their ass on the ice.
Yeah.
For like literally just watching. Like you don't see what's going on.
I remember going down, coming out of the game and walking up that hill behind the kind of like the gymnastics and coming out from the Maravich Center on the back and walking up that hill kind of towards the Indian Mounds right there, and like cars had like slid into each other because they were on that downhill, and it was so iced over that it couldn't even grip the road. The tires couldn't even grip the road. It was a wild night. That wasn't Anthony Davis. No, that wasn't. Was that
Booker?
Was that Towns? Was that Carl Anthony Towns?
Carl Anthony Towns, I believe.
And Booker was a freshman. I remember watching.
He came off the bench, didn't he?
Yeah, I remember watching him. Like that's the best
player.
player. I was like, that's the best player on their team.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he's smooth.
His shot was so smooth.
And me and Bo, one of my best friends, he was like, that's the best player on their team right there.
That's Kentucky.
And now
that's kind of like very similar to what they were doing with Tari Eason.
Yeah.
I think that if you go watch LSU play for the first time, when you see Eason coming to the game, you're like, hold on.
That's their best player.
That's their best player.
Right.
Why is he? Well, you just kind of give your team that boost. It also kind of keeps the morale of the starting five kind of like, I'm still a starter.
That makes sense.
But like I said, you can only squeeze that lemon so long and get as much juice as you could, and he probably over-squeezed. And it's time to put Eason into the starting lineup, and a game like tonight makes a lot of sense to put him in there against this front line and see, how you can match up. Shea Dixon is over in Houston. We're going to change up and go to Houston. We'll ask him about the latest on LSU Kansas State. The numbers are obviously low. We'll tell him what we think about it, if he thinks we're nuts as far as Kirkland and the crew being able to pull it off tonight. But we'll also ask him the impact on recruiting, how LSU is looking after the Under Armour All-American game that happened this past weekend. What was some of the buzz there? Lots to catch up with Shea Dixon. In fact, if you have got a question for Shea Dixon, jump inside of our chat app. Whether you're on YouTube, jump in there, ask Shea, hashtag Ask Shea, and we'll make sure and get it over to him and get your questions answered. Remember, City Cafe brings you the Jordy Culotta Show. City Cafe, located on O'Neill and George O'Neill. Stop in there where good friends meet. Over 100 years they've been in business at City Cafe. Daily lunch specials you can find. Squeaky Miranda, Cody Miranda, I guarantee you they're talking basketball today at the bar over at City Cafe with such an incredible basketball week ahead of us here down in South Louisiana. The schedule is amazing. Speaking of schedules, they've got daily lunch specials over at City Cafe, Sunday brunch, online citycafebr.net. But the pot roast.
Beef
Coach.
pot roast. Wow, that's probably good.
Very good.
Well, turkey wrap, you're trying to stay healthy.
But the basketball entertainment this week in South Louisiana, I don't know if we said this yesterday or on Sunday night, and it starts tonight. LSU is going to host Kentucky at the Maravich Center. Wednesday night off. Thursday night, Mulkey and the crew, women's basketball, going to host the number one team in the country, Dawn Staley in South Carolina, coming in town on Thursday night to take on Coach Mulkey and the Lady Tigers at the Maravich Center. Friday night, Bronny James and Sierra Canyon are in town taking on Coach Randy Livingston and the Newman Greenies. I'm going. I'm taking a little Jay. Doobie got a media pass.
How?
He applied for it.
No, he contacted Sierra Canyon and they sent him one.
Doobie, good for you, bro.
He was like, dude, they have a hole.
The wifey is going to a bachelorette trip in New Orleans.
Easy
Oh.
over there.
Sister's bachelorette
Easy
trip. So I have
over there. You
Thursday
sound very
night,
upset about that.
Friday, yeah, I'm gonna miss my wife. But I'm thinking maybe I try to go to the game. I didn't know if all the squad was going.
Open invite, coach.
Yeah,
All
we get a
right.
little-
Taking little Jay.
well, you don't want to be the husband that goes to New Orleans when your wife is on a bachelor trip.
To watch a
Well,
basketball
I'm
game,
going
you
to
can get away with it.
basketball
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can
that's
get
what I'm
away
saying.
with it.
There's some people
You
out
can
there.
You think I'm
that
the
would-
psychopath that's gonna
No.
be following her everywhere she goes?
I would hope not. But
Come
I would
on,
if I were
man.
you.
Come on.
Look
let's
over your
go.
left shoulder. Look over your left shoulder.
Man.
She was
Hey.
there yesterday.
Why
Shea
why you
Dixon,
talking to that guy?
and so Sierra.
I'm talking to him. You
think he's better looking than I
Canyon-
am?
You don't think I see that?
You think you can hit a fastball?
Sierra Canyon Friday night is in town taking on the Newman Greenies over at the Smoothie King Center. And then on Saturday, Tennessee's in town taking on LSU. An incredible week
Tailgate.
of basketball. Tailgate canceled. 85% chance of rain.
Tailgate canceled. Sorry.
Tailgate rescheduled for the following week for, I believe, versus Arkansas.
That's a good one.
Yep.
Ooh.
So we'll catch up on that. No
Buffalo
tailgate
sauce.
scratch it
No
this
tailgate.
week. Didn't want everybody out there in the rain. Didn't want to be doing all that. So we'll reschedule it. Looks like Arkansas going to be the
gonna snow?
the Daniel Newman, Edward Jones.
I think it's gonna warm up by then.
no
Warm
snow,
up a
Coach.
little bit.
No snow. We ain't doing no
cold.
snow.
I like the snow.
Shea Dixon coming up next here on the Jordy Culotta Show.
Windshield was frozen over for the first time.
Ooh, I got a good windshield story.
Keep the headshot.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got a good windshield story.
Can you put logo? Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. Hebert's Specialty Meats, home to the finest boudin in South Louisiana. 2 spots right here in Baton Rouge and out in Prairieville. Stop in and see them in the Dutchtown Shopping Center on Highway 73 or right here in Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway. Online, abearsmarkets.com, and they're all over social media. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Instagram. Hebert's combines perfect seasoning with that authentic Cajun flavor. Find out for yourself. Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway and in Prairieville on Highway 73. abearsmarkets.com. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in LaPlace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU, bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU, bluewater.com. Rico Delgado, who to cook in the male cheerleader suit. It's Jordan Peck. That is our executive producer here in the Jordy Culotta Show. It's good to see him here on this Tuesday morning. Shea Dixon is over in Houston. We'll get to him. Cody Worsham going to stop by here at 8:30. We'll talk more LSU Kentucky basketball tonight from the Maravich Center. But let's get over to Houston and get set up for Kansas State LSU football tonight, as it will be the Tax Act Texas Bowl from 8 p.m. NRG Stadium, as the Houston Texans playing service will be the backdrop tonight between Kansas State and LSU. Shea Dixon, who covers it for Go247, is over there in Houston and joins us now. Good morning, Shea D. Happy New Year, buddy.
Good morning. Happy New Year.
John Trey Kirkland, starting quarterback. You in or you out?
In on the idea or in on the reality?
Both.
Reality.
The reality I'm in on. I think that is the plan.
Let's go. Bro.
Gosh, the last time I don't know if I'm in on. I'm in. I think it'll be fun, right? But you'd have to put on the Letcher film from 5 years ago to see the last time he's done what we're going to see tonight, which we presume will be kind of a wildcat quarterback look the whole game. They're down. I know that they have two guys walk-on quarterbacks, Matt O'Dowd and Tavion Falk, and O'Dowd's hurt. So you're down to one freshman.
What happened to O'Dowd?
I think he got banged up in one of the practices across
Coach,
the 15 bowl practices.
Tape me up and put me in there. If I'm a walk-on, this is my opportunity. Shoot me up. Give me some good stuff. Get me in there.
It's a chance to get the good stuff, too.
Tavion Falk is a Acadiana kid, Mikey, so maybe just put him in there.
Where'd he go?
Karen Crow, huh?
Yeah, Karen Crow.
Oh, okay.
Shea Dixon checking in from Houston. How has this been with covering LSU? 39 scholarship players, Shea, is almost crazy to say out loud, but when you're around them and you're covering this group, how does this even seem like a varsity football team, like a college football team with the numbers?
I mean, they're not far off from the numbers they've really been operating on the past, final few games in the season. And really a year ago, remember the final few games in the season, it wasn't, they had more than 39, but it wasn't much. I'll tell you this. The guys that are here look juiced up to be here. And I think a lot of guys are pumped. A lot of young guys are going to get to play. There'll be some walk-ons out there at backup spots that would never get this opportunity in a normal game, let alone in a bowl game, in an NFL venue. So the 39 guys that are here and the walk-ons that are here look pretty juiced to be here.
What is the biggest area of concern as far as numbers go? Is it the defensive backfield?
Well, I think, you look at corner for sure, and you don't have any of your normal corners. Look, from the UCLA game at the start of the season, Jordy, to now, they have one player who was starting in that game on defense that's playing in this one. That's Jay Ward. Wow. Other than that, it's a myriad of things, right? It's opting out. It's transferring Eli Ricks. It's getting hurt. It's academics, whatever it might be. So you'll see a lot of new faces. I would say corner is the one that I would circle and be pretty worried about, in the sense of you got a true freshman that's really never played in Demarius McGee. You've got Darren Evans, who's played a good bit, a transfer from Nichols a couple of years ago, and then Lloyd Cole, the walk-on, are the only three guys who are even listed on the depth chart. So beyond that, it'll just be more walk-ons. We'll see if they kind of move Sage Ryan around, if they have to move any more safeties around. Obviously, Jay Ward's played corner before. You got to get creative, I would presume. Kansas State's not going to throw the football a ton, but you're pretty short-handed there. That's the one position when I look at the depth chart and I say, whoa, they don't have any of their normal guys.
Shea, you mentioned since the UCLA game, there's been so much attrition, whether it's been injuries or opt-outs or whatever. I saw yesterday that over the last 2 days, and if 2 weeks ago I did this whole math thing and I started doing numbers and stuff, over the last 2 days there's been 3,000 people put their name in the transfer portal. There's only 910 spots for transfers to go. Every team gets 7. There's 130 FBS teams. Do you think that the portal itself is going to self-regulate, basically because there's way too many people in there, there's not near enough spots?
It'll have to, and it's been that way for, I think, since kind of this whole portal era began over the past couple of seasons, because even with these like +7 numbers, and if you've got 7 guys that left, you can oversign beyond 25 and get 7 more. That's presuming every team can do that, and
right.
Not every team does have 7 guys leave, so it's on a need basis. And even then, if you're in the if you're in the portal and you're name a position. Well, not every team, let's say you're down to 5 or 6 options. They may not all need a outside linebacker or whatever it might be. So there's so many different ways to find yourself left out in the cold on this. And we've already seen guys talk about it where they came out and said, like, Manny Netherly was one who went to the really good high school football player, really good high school track guy, came to LSU, was buried on the depth chart, moved kind of positions back and forth, receiver, corner, enters the portal, and ultimately gets left there. And now he's not even playing football anymore. Yeah. So I think that as kids become more educated on the portal, and certainly if you're Caleb Williams and you're going to the portal, there's no risk. Right. Anybody would take you. But I think there is a cautionary tale that you're right about, that a lot of these guys are going to start to see that the grass isn't always greener, and in some cases it's artificial turf. There's nowhere to go.
Now, I know people, for the people listening, when you put your name in the portal, your scholarship is gone. The minute it's in there, you know they no longer have to honor your scholarship, correct?
Correct. No, yeah, correct. They would not have to. And if you enter the portal, you can come back, and like we saw Brennan do that. But once you're in, you're on a 1-year scholarship. Even if you get a full ride to a university, every year they renew your scholarship. Yeah. People don't really talk about that much, but it's just understood. You'll get your scholarship renewed. Well, that wouldn't be the case if you're entering the portal. If you're entering the portal and just staying there, and kind of LSU's got to move on. So yes, they don't honor your scholarship anymore, and you might just be stuck in no man's land.
What's the latest on Cardell Flott?
Sounds like he's turning pro. Not here, and not going through any bowl preps. So I would be, from talking to people around here, I'd be very surprised if we ever saw him play in an LSU uniform again. And not that he's transferring out. I think that he views that he had a pretty solid year, and showed some versatility playing in that nickel spot. And the buzz, at least around here, is that he's planning to turn pro.
Do you think that's a little premature? Do you think that he's kind of reached what he could do going into the draft?
I think he could definitely up his stock more if he were to stick around and play another year and be a starting corner on the outside, be an edge guy. But I think he views it as, hey, look, this was perhaps as far as I could have taken it. Maybe I won't improve my stock a ton next year. And with all the changes at LSU, and it almost reminds me, and this may be a bad example of like a Darius Days thing. Well, there's going to be a time where Jay Ward, or let's just say even a guy like Cordell Flott looks up, and none of the guys that he came here with are still here. Stingley's, injured and went pro. Ricks is leaving. Ray Darius Jones isn't here at the bowl game. Christian Fulton, all those guys have moved on. So you kind of look around and you're like, man, Corey Raymond's gone, obviously. The head coach is gone, all these different things. And you say, well, maybe now it's just the best time for me to move on. And I bet that plays a bit of a role in what Flott's thinking.
You expect Sage Ryan to get some run tonight?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Whether that's nickel or playing some corner, or they're pretty good. I mean, not super deep, but they've got guys that are on scholarship safety. So maybe he doesn't in need is there as much as he is a corner and nickel. But yeah, I'd absolutely expect him to play.
Have you been monitoring the transfer portal as far as Notre Dame guys that could potentially be coming to Notre Dame, or is this too premature to start following these types of storylines?
I guess it's never too premature. I saw they had a big right tackle or an offensive tackle enter the portal. Notre Dame did. So,
and I saw a linebacker, Paul Maiola.
Okay. So, certainly at least the offensive line. And linebacker, too. Look, they're not going to have Damone Clark today. They want Mike Baskerville today. Mike Jones will be playing. Greg Penn will be playing. But beyond that, it's going to be walk-ons. And there is no real depth there. So I do think linebacker is a spot that they're going to have to address in the portal, whether that's a Notre Dame guy or somebody else. But no doubt I expect them to sign a transfer linebacker. And there had been buzz, man, after Kelly got hired, so maybe a couple weeks back, maybe a few weeks back, that there was going to be like this small wave of Notre Dame players entering the portal, and that most of them would try to get on at LSU. Now we haven't seen that happen yet, but yesterday, or I guess the past couple of days, or the first day we saw Notre Dame kids actually enter the portal. And as you mentioned, now a couple of them. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. But I would be a bit surprised if at least, and don't even know a name. I'm just saying that I'd be surprised if at least one Notre Dame guy didn't, take a very hard look at saying, hey, look, Kelly's there, a few staff members at LSU. They're in real need of players in a number of positions, and a guy might make a leap like that. So, yeah, I would bet that by fall camp next year, that LSU's added at least one guy from Notre Dame's roster.
Staff is starting to firm up here as Mike Denbrock has been named the offensive coordinator. It looks like Joe Sloan officially named the quarterbacks coach. How does this have an impact on recruiting? How do you know these guys from the recruiting world? How will they fit in your opinion?
Well, Denbrock, I think you look at more of just straight, what does he do for you as a coordinator, and you don't really worry about what he does for you recruiting-wise, and that's fine. You're not often finding that one of your coordinators is like your best recruiter or somebody that you're leaning on. They're way more into the X's and O's. I love the Joe Sloan hire. I've known Joe for a number of years now. He's 35, 36. He's in North Louisiana. He had been now interim head coach up at La Tech through that transition, but being the play caller in OCs, worked with quarterbacks, and you see him. My interactions with him would always come at LSU summer camp because of Orgeron, and the staff would invite everybody from every different college around the state to come and be able to eval guys, and you could just see Sloan. Whether it was the coaches at ULM or Nichols, or whether it was high school coaches, or whether it was kids, everyone knew Joe, and everyone kind of gravitates towards him. I think he's going to be a great sort of tool or resource to have in terms of North Louisiana, which is an area that LSU is not always, completely owned. I think not that he's going to do that for you, but at least he's got connections up there. He's well respected. He evals well. La Tech recruits really well. He was a big part of that in terms of kind of being a lead recruiter for the staff. So I like this blend that they've got. You look at Steeples, I think he's 32. So they've got, Brian Kelly's been around the block. He's been a head coach and been in coaching now for 30-something years. I think he knows what he's doing in terms of blending the youth with guys like Denbrock, who are more experienced, House. I like what I've seen, where we have one staff hire left to get to 10 on-field staff members. I don't look at one of them yet and say, man, I totally don't get that. Like, what are they trying to do here? There's none of that. It seems like he knows kind of what he's looking for, and they're kind of bang, 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 executing it across the stretch of 3 or 4 weeks here.
Any buzz since the Under Armour All-American game over the weekend, or the All-American games that are happening? Anything trending towards LSU? What's some of the storylines that are coming out of those weekends?
Yeah, we saw Harold Perkins commit to A&M. Now, I guess it's not over because he hasn't signed anywhere. We'll see if he doesn't pop up on LSU's campus and meet with the new staff over the month of January. But I thought the most notable thing was that Jacoby Matthews, in terms of announcing anything, pulled off of announcing at the game this past weekend, and now is just going to take it to February. He'll announce on signing day, and certainly he'll make an official visit to LSU. A&M's in the mix. Texas is in the mix. Florida's been trying to get involved with the new staff there. So it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out. But I thought it was really good for LSU that he didn't announce then, because that at least gives you a month of in-home visits and school visits and, potential weekend visits at LSU, official visit, all that sort of stuff to still do. It's still in front of you. So I didn't think it was going to be at the end of the world if he announced this weekend and ends up, committing elsewhere, and then you've got to flip him. But now you don't have to worry about any of that. He's still uncommitted. He didn't do anything. And you can kind of really prioritize him, Trevante Citizen, guys like that in state, because they chose not to, sign early and didn't want to reveal anything at these games.
That's good for LSU, right? That's a win. Getting these guys not to sign. Yeah.
That's a dub. You'll take that.
Yeah. A&M's done. They don't need any more guys. They have too many. They have to have their limit of guys they've gotten. I'm over that. I'm over that.
I saw, Lloyd would appreciate this. I saw they, at these Under Armour games and all that, they do these little, I've had plenty of them over the years where, you'll get Jamar and Ingram and someone else, and there's 3 or 4 guys in a photo, and you're like, these are the future Tigers. A&M had one at the Under Armour game. It was like an all-22. They're like, all these guys are going to A&M. I was like, what?
Oh, man. I'm so over it. I'm over it. They've had too many. You can only sign 25 and then 7. Okay, they've had to have exhausted their time. I'm sick of seeing it.
Shay, I got excited when it was Rod for 5, and now there's Rod for all 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You remember 5 for 5.
5 for 5, baby.
For 20. If you're not filling out a full 22 at the Under Armour game,
what are you doing?
Any idea of the impact that this NIL stuff is going to have on recruiting with Texas A&M cleaning up like they are, and it's obvious that they have embraced stuff like NIL? Do you get an idea of what the future looks like around recruiting towards this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we could have predicted exactly how it would have unfolded like this, where you mentioned A&M. Texas is out there just blanket statement. Hey, if you're an O-lineman and you sign, you're on the team, you get $100,000 a year. They had like 5 dudes commit within like 7 days. I was like, sweet, I'm in. Like, where do we sign up? I think that probably like everything is cyclical, and this is my opinion, that there'll come a time where and maybe not, but a lot of these businesses figure out, okay, what's the market value here of these guys? What am I getting from this? Are we just getting better at football? Am I giving, $100,000 to every alignment and half the team quits and goes in the portal and then the other guys suck and then 2 of them are good and we go 7-5? There's no ROI there. What am I doing? I think that in the sense of just big spending, that it'll even itself out, and these businesses ultimately will just say, hey, look, it sort of whittles back down to the Derek Stingley's and the Caleb Williams and the Keyshawn Butte's of the world, and not everybody is getting a brand new car or whatever it might be. I sort of think that
they've moved past the cars. I think they've moved past the cars at this point.
They're
millions now, bro.
They're getting summer homes.
Yeah. They have the house up in the mountains now in Aspen right now.
But you mentioned go ahead.
Do you like Tulum?
Hey, Bora Bora is the nicest time of year, I've heard.
Yeah,
don't even worry about the bowl game. Texas A&M didn't even play the bowl game. They had vacation to go on.
Did they opt out? No.
No.
They're winter house. The whole NIL thing. They don't play the bowl game.
It's a team ski trip. But you mentioned name, image, and likeness, obviously, with Texas A&M and what they've done. I'm more interested in what happens next year with them in the transfer portal. They have so many highly ranked guys, and you've seen people bounce into the transfer portal like Mikey set up with almost 3,000 players in there. But they're going to be like ripe for the picking, I would imagine, when they have all of these 4- and 5-star guys that are committed. There's not enough room for all of them, and these are all guys that can play immediately. Do you expect to see at least 3 or 4 guys from A&M next year into the portal? Because there's just not enough room.
Oh, yeah, there'll be no doubt, because all these guys are going to want to go in and play, and they were the man on their high school team. A lot of these guys are really good. So, yeah, if that's happening even pre-NIL stuff, it's going to happen now, and maybe even more so. I know it seems like every A&M, and I guess we're talking specifically about them, but every time I would see them pop a new 5-star, all the mentions on Twitter, it was like Texas fans who ever LSU, and they'd be like, cool, we'll just get them next year when they're in the portal. It's like, oh, man, y'all are salty, but you're right. You're not going to be able to start them all.
What do you expect tonight?
Oh, man. The line is, what was it? Like LSU was favored by a couple to start. Now they're like 7-point dogs. Mm-hmm. So I would imagine, and I'm guessing, I don't know this for a fact, that K-State has more than 39 scholarship players. So I'm guessing they're just going to operate as normal, which they had taken a number of teams this year to the ropes. I can't remember. Did they beat OU or didn't beat OU? Maybe they just came close in that game. But talented enough. They played a lot of good teams. I think I'd be surprised, I guess, if K-State lost this game. But then again, these past couple of years, and y'all know this, when we've seen LSU play their best was when they were down on numbers. And the guys that were out there were the guys that wanted to be out there. Yep. I think there's something to be said for that. So I think it'll be close. I do not think LSU goes in there and just gets routed and everyone's like, they lost 35-3. What's going on? They didn't have any scholarship guys. Like, I think it'll be a close game.
So the +7's a good bet, is what you're saying.
Well, don't make me lose your money in the new year.
No, it's I'm losing my money on myself. My betting right now stinks. But I'm getting it. I need to get some money. I'm going +7.
Cheese in the over and LSU.
Big LSU contingency already embedded in Houston, but what'd the road look like traveling over? Do you expect a big LSU faithful coming in from Louisiana?
I would assume so, and I know a lot of folks are, as you said, look, if you're in the Houston area or within a drive and you're an LSU fan, you're like, okay, I'm coming regardless. It's whatever. It's at 8 p.m. I can go over the day of and go to the game and stay at the hotel and roll out. I will say, though, there's a lot of Kansas State fans here, and I interacted with a few of them, and they don't care about LSU. They love horns down and hating on Texas, which LSU's fine with, and they're obsessed with hating on Kansas, and I presume that's like Kansas basketball. So it's in terms of a fan perspective, they seem like great people. They hate Kansas basketball. They hate Texas football. Cool, it is what it is.
Yeah, right.
They kind of got the short end of the stick. They leave the cold, and it's still cold down here. They probably thought they were coming down here and it was gonna be nice 70 degrees, and now it's a little cold. It's a little chilly. It's 32 degrees down here.
Yeah, I saw a lot of them. They were in shorts and T-shirts. Okay, where are y'all coming from?
Yeah.
Have a great evening, bro. Have a great night. Enjoy Houston. Come in, check in the new studio when you get back.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see it. Happy New Year to y'all.
All right, see you. There's Shea Dixon checking in from Houston this morning as that conversation brought to you by Falaya Real Estate. Check out our friend Barrett Blondo over at Falaya Real Estate as we tell you all about him all the time and what they got going on over at Falaya. Falaya.com is where you find them if you are looking for the website. Or they urge you to download the app. Just get over to your Apple store, your Android store, and download the Falaya app to keep up with the latest brand new podcasting studio over there at
somebody buy Lloyd this house, please, so we can stop pulling it up.
Seriously, I'm in.
Look at this place, though. This is a great podcast studio.
He'll work for it.
It is, but that is not the podcast studio.
I need to get divorced so I can get this house.
Are you married?
No, but
okay.
A lot of steps. Hopefully this is still on the market.
Okay.
But this would be my first purchase.
Falaya.com is the website. Falaya.com. We will talk LSU basketball.
2 beds, 1 bath.
With Cody Worsham when we return here. Make sure you hit that like button, that comment button, that share button. We appreciate you being here. Anything about LSU basketball? Any questions? Anything that you're curious about? Get inside of the app. Get inside of the chat app, and we will ask it to Cody. We'll talk about it next here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Only 500, dude. 500 for that house?
That's a lot for I thought it was.
Yeah, I know.
Only 1,400 square feet.
Yeah. Area clay cut.
Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU, bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU, bluewater.com. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Remember, check us out at Culotta Show all over social media. And if you are looking for the newest hoodies, the newest logos, check it out, jordy.itemorder.com, jordy.itemorder.com. Our friend Cody Worsham over at LSU, we just talked to Shea Dixon. Appreciate him for stopping by over in Houston as they get set for Kansas State and LSU tonight at the Tax Act Texas Bowl. That will play. That'll be the main act as LSU basketball will get you ready at 6 o'clock this afternoon. Kentucky is in town. Dale Brown Court will be commemorated this afternoon. It'll be a big day over at the Maravich Center. Cody Worsham, who is a very busy dude up at LSU. He handles strategic communications. He's also over in digital media. He hosts a couple of podcasts, including Tigers Win, Hey Fightin' podcast, and of course Boot Up, the award-winning podcast that follows LSU basketball around and is a great way to learn about this hoop squad who is looking for their first SEC win tonight. Cody, good morning. How are you? Happy New Year, buddy.
Hey, Happy New Year to you, Jordy. Good to be on with you. Doing well.
Absolutely. Kentucky comes in tonight. LSU squares off against them. That was going to be a really nice matchup on national television. Before we get there, what did you make of the road trip to Auburn and LSU returning home 0-1?
I wasn't surprised. I mean, I think Auburn's the best team in the SEC. My opinion on LSU didn't change at all from that game. I think there's probably there might not be a team in the country that goes into that arena and comes out with a win. It's a tough place to play. It's a good team, a really good team. And I think you saw a lot of guys for LSU that were basically in their first true road game, whether they're freshmen or sophomores, and then some guys who were in their first true road game in a couple of years. So it was to be expected. I think you learned a lot. You got a lot of good tape, but you also saw a lot of troubling issues that have kind of been creeping up, especially offensively in recent games, and you kind of see them coming. And now you got to address them and fix them. And so that's the next challenge. It doesn't get any easier. You mentioned Kentucky. There's Tennessee. You got Florida and Arkansas around the corner. Like these first 7 games, as we've been talking about all preseason or all non-conference season, are brutal. And so you don't have much time to lick your wounds and solve problems. You got to solve them quickly and get better quickly. So I think they will. Will's really good at that. That's one of his strengths as a coach. But again, Kentucky's really good, so it's going to be very, very hard. You could fix all the things that went wrong and still lose because that's how good Kentucky is. So that's what they signed up for, and they'll be ready. They'll be ready tonight.
Some of the fixes you would think would be shooting the ball a little bit better, I guess, getting the ball in the basket, but yeah. They weren't taking bad shots. They were taking pretty good shots. The ball, they've just been a little on the basket for the last, especially on the road. What do you do to, I guess, combat that and fix that? I mean, obviously somebody you would think is going to get hot, and they just can't, be that cold from outside for that long. What's the fix there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of 11 of your first 16 shots being threes, especially when you're not making any of them. So, some of them were good looks. Some of them weren't. Some of them were too quick. I think it really comes down to guard play with this team. And Pinson and Gaines and now Justice Williams, if they can help you get better shots and get into the flow of your offense a little bit better, I think that's a huge piece. I thought LSU looked its best against Auburn when Pinson was kind of probing and attacking and getting in the paint. But you've got to get, the rule that I always played with growing up, and, amateur basketball is a lot different, in high school and junior high basketball or whatever, and it's a lot different than SEC basketball. But you always wanted to get the ball in the paint first before you took the three. And so I feel like it's almost kind of an old school rule that this team could go back to. Like, get 2 feet in the paint first. Get 2 feet in the paint, play off at 2 feet, and then kick it out for three. Don't just swing it around the perimeter and take the first look you get. You can get that look anytime. I think that's the biggest thing with this team. Don't settle. Don't take what the defense gives you. Go take something from them. And I think Pinson's he's got an ability to do that. I think Gaines can really do that too. Like, I know people were concerned about Gaines after his first game. Like, that's just the kind of player he is. Like, he's going to have games where he looks like that. He's going to have games where he just overwhelms teams with his playmaking and his athleticism. So they'll get him right. He'll play better. He'll knock down some shots too. I think once those guards get you going, you'll be okay.
Now, obviously, Kessler was a tree, right? So he kind of took the pain away. Is the 15-footer dead?
I don't think the 15-footer's dead. Now, I think with this team, there's not a bunch of guys that take it. But I think it's just you have to get the open 15-footer, and you have to be a guy that can take it and make it. Like Chris Paul still makes a living off the 15-footer. It's funny. Like my dad's an old school basketball coach, and we were at the women's basketball. we were at the women's basketball game earlier this week. Was Sunday, I guess, and one of the players made a play where they were in transition. They jumped out with 2 feet at the free throw line.
Oh, he loved that.
Drew into him and he was like, I think this is the men's team do that a little bit. Little jump stop, little ball fake. But look, they'll get back to some of that. And I thought when they played off 2 feet against Kessler, it wasn't much. I think Tari did it once, and James did it. Who else? Somebody else did it once or twice, and Pinson. And when they did that, they were okay. And so Kentucky's got the big guy in the middle that's getting 30 rebounds a game that he'll give them some issues too. So they're gonna have to learn their lesson from Auburn and then apply it against Kentucky.
What do they miss with Murray out?
Well, you miss some capability from three. He hadn't shot it incredible from three, but Jordy, you've probably been in practices where he hit 6, 7 in a row. I've been in practices where he couldn't miss. So he's a threat from three. Defensively, he's a bulldog. I didn't think their press was super effective against Auburn. I think he's a big part of that. Like, I think he just leans on guards for 35 minutes a game, and they're just tired and fatigued. And when you get tired and fatigued, you make bad decisions. So I don't know who he would guard against Kentucky. I mean, Grady is a great shooter, but he's a little bit bigger of a body. Wheeler is kind of your quicker, more jittery point guard. Maybe they put him with Ty Washington. Like, he's maybe he may not be their flashiest defender on the perimeter, and he may not even be the best. Like when you look at Milwani, but I think when just in terms of like a guy that's going to be super reliable defensively, always in the right spot, playing hard. And then just wearing guys out on the ball that can guard, 2, 3, 4 positions. I think that's what they miss. And so, and plus just that little bit of offensive pop. He's got some scoring to his game. He's really good in transition. That's where he's been great for LSU this year. They didn't get any of that against Auburn. So I think if they can get him back, I haven't heard the latest update. If they can get him back, it's gonna be a big boost, no doubt. And plus just depth. Like when you take him out, you got to play Justice Williams, who hadn't played all year. And I thought he looked great, and he'll keep playing. But it's just they're already down at 2 guards with Adam Miller. Like it's like taking a spot that you've already lost something and take something else out, and you just get thinner and thinner.
You mentioned that about Murray, and when you look at this backcourt matchup tonight versus Wheeler and Washington, what are the challenges that Kentucky present? What do you know about Kentucky, and what is their biggest advantage?
Yeah, I don't know a ton about them. I watched them earlier this year. I think they were playing Duke, and I was just kind of looking at the bodies on the floor. I was like, there's some grown men on the floor right now, like both ways. I think it was Duke. I can't remember, but they've got size, physicality. Like Kellen Grady is a sniper. He's the kind of guy that comes in and hits 3 or 4 threes, and before you know it, you're down 12 points. So they got to lock in on him. I think he's got like over 2,000 points in his career going back to Davidson. Like he's the real deal. The big guy in the middle, I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, but
15
20
boards
rebounds.
a game.
That's all you need to know. That's his name. Boards.
Yeah,
Board man gets paid.
Exactly. He's going to clean up everything. He's going to be big around the rim. And then Wheeler, we've seen before with Georgia, man.
Yeah.
He's just LSU wanted him. LSU recruited him. There's a reason they recruited him. He is not only a quick, explosive guard, but he's smart, man. He makes the right play. He's going to get a bunch of assists. So they've got really, really good personnel, and Calipari has been there and done that. So it's a tough matchup, but I think LSU will play better. I think there's some opportunities for guys like Days and Eason in this game to kind of assert themselves and get back to being the alphas they can be. I know I said it's kind of starts with guard play. I think guard play is sort of the X factor with this team, but I think it's those big guys, man. Those big guys are going to dictate if they can be dominant players. This team has a chance to be a dominant team, and so I think it's on them to step up and rise to the occasion.
Cody Worsham, who hosts some podcast over with LSU Sports and LSU Athletics, LSUsports.net. He's also a part of the executive team up there. Now, taking your podcasting hat off, putting your executive team member hat back on, you all have got to have been very pleased with the atmosphere and the environments that the Maravich Center has been providing both LSU women's and men's basketball up to this point.
Oh, it's been awesome, Jordy. I mean, just putting my basketball fan hat on, like being in there on Sunday against Texas A&M, and there's 7,500 fans there, and it's loud, and it's exciting. And then same with all the men's games, that the fans have been incredible. That's been intentional. We always say that when you win, that's how you get the fans there, and so Kim Mulkey and Will Wade are winning a bunch of games, so that's how you get the fans there. Now we got to keep them there. We got to give them not only a great environment, but also a great experience. And so we have, a lot of stuff that we're doing on that regard. But it starts with the product on the floor. Like, I was there covering the team on the beat 2016 and 17 when they lost, 10 SEC games in a row and finished 2-16 in the conference that year. There wasn't anybody there. So it doesn't matter how well you do your marketing. It doesn't matter how well you do your fan experience stuff. If the team isn't winning, because people aren't going to want to come out and see anything else. But as Will always says, you put purple and gold on, you can do anything, and people are going to root for a winner. So the combined record now is what? Women are 13-1, 14-1, and the men are 12-1. I mean, it's just a lot of winning going on over there. But that's what happens when you hire great coaches. Like, you go out and you get the best coaches in the country. You're going to see the results, and you're seeing that with both of those programs.
Environment will be rocking tonight. Dale Brown Court will be commemorated both. I believe that there is a ceremony set up for pregame and during the intermission, and it should be about 10,000 plus strong. I don't anticipate a seat in the house tonight with LSU Kentucky, and then everybody getting home for the bowl game. Before we get you out of here, how do you expect 8 o'clock tonight to play out with LSU Kansas State?
I have no idea.
You and everybody else,
right?
I was trying to decide. I got up here yesterday in Houston. I was trying to decide, like, in the last couple of days, like, do I want to preview this game with a podcast, or do I want to just kind of wait and see and see what happens and talk about it after? I think we'll have a lot to talk about after. Yeah. I'm really proud of the guys that are here. Like, the guys that are here are just they're the foundation of what's coming next, man. Like, when LSU hits the next mountaintop. The guys who are here, who have stuck it out, who have put their bodies on the line for LSU all season and represented the Tigers with pride all season, they're going to be the building blocks of that. So I'm excited to see those guys get an opportunity tonight. Some of them to do some things maybe that they haven't done before. But I think it's going to be a fun game in that respect. And I think the guys that are out there are going to play hard and play with pride and passion. That's the expectation at LSU. They're still here, and they wouldn't be here if they weren't here for that reason. So I'm excited to see that. And I think before the football game, we'll have a little tailgate with the basketball game on as well. So it'll be fun to kind of keep an eye on that basketball game and then quickly pivot to the football game.
Yeah, one before I get you out of here, one thing that it's done, and I appreciate the opportunity that this has allowed, is it's allowed people to get to know Brad Davis, and he's pretty impressive.
Yeah, cool, man. He's a star. I'm so glad he's sticking around. And you think about the history that's going to be made in this game. I think we've talked about it when it first happened, but it's kind of gone out of focus recently, but he's going to be the first African American coach in LSU football history, first African American head football coach.
That's awesome.
So there's going to be history made tonight, and I can't think of a guy to represent the program better over the last few weeks. Like that's a thankless job to step into a one-game interim job. A lot of guys would shy away from that or would say, "Nah, I'm not doing that. Like I don't want that responsibility. I don't want to have to go deal with the media. I don't want to have to answer the tough questions." Man, he hadn't backed down from anything. Like he is all in, and I think what a great hire he was this season. You saw his offensive line get better and better. I mean, when you look at if you look at the depth chart, go pull up the depth chart. You see all the positions that are depleted. Those O-linemen are still here. Those guys are still here. That group is going to finish out their career strong tonight, and I think he's a huge part of that. He's earned their respect very, very quickly in a difficult situation. Came into the fray for LSU at kind of a weird time of year, but absolutely won that room over, won the team over, and I think he's won the fan base over now too.
Enjoy Houston. Pull them through. We'll talk to you when you get back, and should be a great environment on campus this afternoon with Kentucky in town taking on Willie Wade and the Hoop Squad. Thank you for your time. Happy New Year, buddy.
All right, guys, boot up.
Later, man.
Boot up.
There he is, Cody Worstrom checking in this morning as we are set to that was Ron Hunter calling the Tulane basketball coach. We will take a break and be right back with Tulane head coach Ron Hunter as he's got a big one as well. Remember, RMB Builders brings you our show, RMB-Builders, all of our podcasts. We will have Coach Hunter next here as we close it out on the Jordy Culotta Show.
At what point do you not say Happy New Year anymore?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, this is Ron.
Ron, let's get Ron's opinion on it. I mean, I don't know. I didn't say Merry Christmas for very long either. Like I said, I think the day.
I saw someone yesterday. I said,
Hey, Coach Jordy Culotta, my fault. I'm coming to you.
Okay, is it a week?
Congratulations, man. Your team's
See, I think Happy New Year is different because like you say it after, right? Like Christmas, you say Merry Christmas because you're up to the event. It feels like, and then Happy New Year, you celebrated that you're in the new year.
You give it a week if people see that you haven't seen.
Yeah, I think that's what it is too.
You know?
And look, take down your fucking Christmas lights already.
Well, if you give me an
Fine
extendo
spice.
letter, I'll go get mine down.
Originating right down here in South Louisiana
put it
by
up.
our
You
guy
take it
Mark
down.
Pop Norman.
Oh.
Developed it
yeah.
back in
Oh, yeah.
2018 and won
Research.
Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than
Yeah,
the
but,
leading
like,
brands
it's
at the
cheaper to do
same
this. Like,
price
it's
point.
expensive tree
You
for
can
that
find them
4 years,
locally.
I'm gonna
Look for
get that.
Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more.
That's Christmas. That's what the Christmas tree does for you.
But I had
True
to get
Blue Water.
my buddy
True
in the neighborhood
hydration
to come
at
with
its
me and had 2
finest.
nutcrackers.
Right
like,
now,
right.
you're
I
only
was
a few minutes
dripping
away from getting your
sweat
5-gallon
in the
water
attic trying to
delivered
get
to
this in
you,
there.
just
And
like
it's
we are over here
85
at the
degrees in
UDL.
Louisiana. I
All
was
you
like,
got to
this
do is
sucks.
log on to truebluewater.com.
I may have
That's
fucked a tree up, may have broken it, who knows?
Bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU, bluewater.com. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show. We were talking a little LSU football, basketball. This is a big day for the Tigers. LSU Basketball will host Kentucky as LSU football will play their bowl game versus Kansas State in Houston tonight. Tulane basketball has been playing really well. Coach Ron Hunter, one of the best, as we've had him a couple of times on the show, has been here. Really at the wave, pointed in the right direction. Jalen Cook, who's a former Tiger and, of course, a Walker native, has been balling the last couple of games, man. Averaging 22.5 points over the last week. In fact, he was named the Louisiana Sports Writers Association Player of the Week, and I believe he was named the Conference Player of the Week yesterday after his performance. We bring in Coach Hunter now from the Green Wave. Coach, good morning. Happy New Year. How are you? Good to have you back.
I'm doing well. Happy New Year to you guys as well, and glad to be back.
Absolutely. Jalen Cook right now is playing like a man on a mission. What do you see from your starting point guard right now, Coach?
Well, he's playing well now, and he's healthy. He a few weeks ago, probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, he really had a bad hamstring, and we sat him out, and then we got hit with COVID pretty hard, so he's been able to rest that hamstring, and he's coming back strong. But he's a young guy, he's a young kid who's just learning the position right now. He still has a long way to go, but he's going to be a special player, and he's playing on the team right now that kind of fits what he does, and it's not so much a one-man show. He just kind of leads this group right now. But he's a really good player, but even more importantly, man, he's a great kid, and I love coaching him.
Coach, your conference opener was an enormous win for you. 85-84, you guys knock off Memphis, who was really playing well in the non-conference leading up to the conference schedule. What was it about your team that night that was focused on opening up conference play against a very good opponent in which you were able to take care of business? Cook led you with 25.
Yeah, he did. And, we started the season with the hurricane, and then been displaced for 25 days. And I did a poor job. I was so consumed with the physical coming out of the hurricane that I really forgot that I'm dealing with 18 and 19-year-olds. And if I can go back to that part, I would deal more with the mental. I thought physically we were ready to start the season, but mentally we weren't. And it just took some time. And then we got hit with COVID. And I just thought that, the learning experience that I got out of that is that even coming out of the COVID part, I wanted to deal with the mental aspect of it and not so much the physical. And I thought that helped us tremendously. And I thought it helped guys like Cook and the young guys. And we focused on mentally being ready to play. We only practiced really a day and a half before the Memphis game before we even got, when we had the whole team together after being off 20 days. So it was more the mental aspect of it, and I thought it helped. We were playing physically good basketball, but we were losing games mentally. And so I think that the guys came together mentally. We did a lot more things together. Instead of being in the gym practice, we did a lot of Zoom stuff mentally, getting ready to play that game, and I thought it paid off for us.
For as impressive as you were in the home opener versus Memphis, you might have been more impressive on the road against Cincinnati on New Year's Day. You had to love how your team responded because, as you mentioned, Coach, you missed 20 days. You got a couple of games versus teams like A&M and UNO and Grambling canceled, and you're kind of wondering on where you are mentally, and you take care of Memphis, and then you pack up and go to the University of Cincinnati and beat them by 8.
Well, Jordy, that's just great coaching. No.
But, Coach, you ain't lying. You ain't lying.
No, man. No, I tell you what, we came back. We had a big win, man, and our kids, we thought we were the best 3-6 team in the country coming out, man. We had some tough losses. We lost by one possession at Florida State. If you look at our losses, you see all those 1-point losses. And so, again, that's what I talked about, the mental part of it. And that's why I had to kind of switch gears a little bit when we got hit with COVID. I got to switch the gears, and I just thought, not worry so much about the physical, but get this team ready to play. Not only the team, but also me. I mean, it's one thing, man, to deal with a hurricane. I still haven't got my place together. We got coaches that haven't moved back into their homes yet from the hurricane.
Wow.
And so there's a lot of stuff that was going on. And then all of a sudden we kind of get over that, and then COVID hits us again. And sometimes, we forget, especially when you're dealing with families and those things. And so I wanted to bring our people back together and make sure that we all were together right mentally. And, we're in a good space right now. And so I think that's the most important part. We talk about the physical and going to play, but if you don't have that mental thing together, then you can't be physically ready. And that's the part that I wanted to make sure, and we're doing such a better job of that now that, and not only, like I said, with our players, but also with our staff and the entire program.
How's the message hitting with recruits?
Oh, really good.
That sounded good.
I bet.
Hey, so you got any of those guys in Baton Rouge that want to be the next Jalen Cook?
You already got one of them.
Hell yeah, we do. I mean, they got to be.
We're not going to say no to them, man.
I bet you wouldn't, man. So how has that been, the portal? How's it been how have you changed your strategy?
Well, it's funny. That's how we did it at Georgia State. The portal was part of that. I built a program at Georgia State through the portal. And if you look at our top players, where Kevin Cross, who's having a tremendous year, transfer from Nebraska. Yeah. If you look at Jalen Forbes, transfer from Alabama. Also, if you look at of course with Cook. Now, all those Cook and Cook, T.Y., and Forbes all played AAU basketball together. And so, again, I'm not going to beat Memphis, and I'm not going to beat Houston going to be a high school kid. I already know that. I'm not going to fool myself with that. But what we can do is we can go get those guys that maybe aren't planning on made bad decisions coming out of high school, and now you can come back to Tulane and you can come and play. And so that's got to be our avenue, because I'm not foolish enough to think that I'm going to beat Memphis and all the money and the things that they can do through NLI and those things. I've got to go get those guys that got a little dog in them and a little hungry and got something to prove.
Love the dog.
Big dog. Ron Hunter
Gotta have the dog.
is here with us on the Jordy Culotta Show. Last one, I'll get you out of here. East Carolina on Wednesday night. What's the challenge?
Well, the challenge is just be ready to. Again, they're going. They haven't played in a while because they've gone through COVID also, and so one of the things, that's what I mean by mentally. All of a sudden, you go and you think you're going to play, and then all of a sudden you don't play, and that just lets you down. And so part of what I've got to be able to do is that whoever we play next, let's just be 3-0. We don't know if it'll be today. We don't know if it'll be Saturday. We can't control that. But what we can control is just be ready when it's time to play.
Roll wave. Ron Hunter is the head coach over there. Got him rolling in the right direction, Coach. Keep him hot. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care. Happy New Year.
Yes, sir.
Happy New Year.
There he is, Ron Hunter, checking in from Big Easy this morning as the Green Wave will take on East Carolina. 2 huge wins to open up conference play for Hunter, and the Green Wave is Jalen Cook, former LSU Tiger. Walker, standout, was named AAC Conference Player of the Week. It was also named Louisiana Sports Writers Association Player of the Week after his performance.
Love his energy
earlier
Ron
this week. Yeah,
Hunter's
he's great.
awesome.
He's great. You can tell by he's a great recruiter.
He's a recruiter. He's funny. He keeps it loose.
Very
but
endearing.
You can tell like he can get on your ass if he needs to get on your ass too.
Do you know he was the guy that fell off the chair and on the one shining moment? Remember his son made the 3-pointer?
Oh yeah.
He was Ron Hunter in the chair with the broken foot.
That's right.
And so that's Ron Hunter is a polarizing man.
That's awesome.
And he'll be the first to tell you.
Remember, GoFlow, GeauxFlow.com is where you find our friends over at GoFlow. Get in touch with them if you're looking for a boost here to 2022. If you're still trying to recover from 2021, get over to Baton Rouge's premier medical spa, specializing in IV hydration treatments with vitamin infusion. That is GoFlow, GeauxFlow.IV.com. They offer memberships over there that can help you with stuff like chronic dehydration. If you're looking for skin, hair, beauty care upgrades, help you hydrate your skin and give you a more youthful glow, get over to GoFlow. Athletic performance, chronic illness, or if you're just looking for a hangover cure. If you're still drunk from 2021, stop it at GoFlow, GeauxFlow.IV.com. They can help you out with all that. GeauxFlow.IV.com. Our friends over at GoFlow. Get in touch with them over there. Tell them you heard it here on the Jordy Culotta Show. They're located on Jefferson Highway. 7970 Jefferson Highway is where you find them and online. GeauxFlow.IV.com. More content coming your way today from FM Digital Media, as we will be live this afternoon with a companion show. We'll be watching the football game for sure. You're going to be here watching basketball? Whoa, buddy.
Whoa, it sounded like you did. Yeah. That's what I was going to ask you. What do you think this travel is going to be like from the Marriott Center back home? Is there enough time?
I think it'll be
enough time to what?
Government, bro.
To be able to do both. There. Like if the basketball game starts at 6, right? Football game starts at 8. Do you think that's for LSU? That's a
Coach River Road.
That's a tight draw. It's a tight window.
I mean, and we don't have to have every single play.
No. I'm saying for like the fan base, not for us. I'll be here. Like I'll probably watch the game here, and then we'll set up the stream when you get here.
Yeah, no, I think you've got enough.
I'm talking about for the people that are going to both. Would you have to leave early from the Marriott Center to get home to watch the football game? If
the game's at 8.
Yeah, it's a tight window.
Yeah, you're gonna miss a little. You'll probably miss the first quarter.
Yeah, first quarter.
Yeah, that's
should probably budget in the first quarter.
For
sure.
That's what apps for. You look at YouTube TV. Get out of the cable. Just go. Get to the 2021.
Fubo.
Yeah. I'll go YouTube
Would you
TV.
Record it and pause it? Are you one of those guys?
No, I can't do that because I'm too much on. I'm too much on
the internet,
Twitter.
Yeah.
I tell you what I do. When I'm at a game, like when I'm actually at a football game, I record the game.
Okay.
And so when I go home, I watch it from the couch. I watch it in person, and then I watch it from the couch. Like
same day?
No, like probably the next day. Like I do the same with the basketball because I like to see. You see different angles. You see different things you don't see, and I like to hear sometimes, depending on who's calling the game.
So who's in Marriott Center? You in?
I will find out at some point. It's going to be my life lives on a
50-50 line.
I go through
on the edge.
Last minute decisions a lot.
Which way are you leaning?
I mean, if I have the tickets, we're going.
Okay.
I have to wait and see if the tickets are coming to
To
Daddy's
you.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are we feeling?
Where you are? Yeah. Where are you on this list? Do you think?
Percentage.
I think I'm pretty good. Pretty good percentage.
Waiver wire.
85 and up. 85 and above.
The person I'm getting the tickets from, or supposed to get the tickets from, I'm helping his son. So that should.
guys-
Don't screw this up, BG.
Good call.
Yeah, I know you
Good
are.
call.
Yeah,
Good
right.
call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, if
I'm
you want,
gonna get Brooks right, bro. I'm gonna get Brooks hitting some lasers.
if you want help with the
lasers.
swing, you got to come through on the tickets.
He offered. I didn't even ask for the tickets. He
Yeah.
offered them to me.
Good move.
Yeah. You know.
move.
I've played the game before. Now.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we'll see everybody over at the Marriott Center. We'll be there, and the environment should be rowdy. It should be rocking. But make sure you come back with us, as we'll have more content, and we are continuing to develop more content. There will be afternoon shows for you. There's going to be a gambling show coming your way here pretty soon. So a lot more stuff in the hopper for you. In fact, we're going to have to start directing you to start following like more YouTube channels. I know. But you're going to have to bear with us.
It's all in the same area. It's all in the same area.
Yeah, right. It's all in the same neighborhood.
Y'all
All
come
the same
follow me
neighborhood.
at some point. I'm going to need some followers.
Absolutely.
Mic'd Up has a YouTube. We're going to get that all developed
Yeah, we
up.
haven't had a
Yep.
show yet, but we're getting there. We're like
Channel
we're-
first of the
We're
show.
at we're on the goal line, I think.
Yeah,
Which
we're
one?
there.
Oh, we're going in to score. We're going in to score. We're not backed up in our own zone.
Huddle up.
We're about to get in the zone.
Got a
right
long
now.
way to go here,
Yeah.
boys. All right, enjoy your day. Big day for LSU sports. No matter how you take it in, have a
Any
good
picks?
day.
You go to the window?
Yeah, I would go to the window. I'm playing LSU football's money line,
I'm going -2 tonight on basketball too.
and LSU's -2.
Oh, it's already dropped. It was -1.
Wow.
I think it's -2.
I saw -1
Megan
last
making
night.
making money. Put it out there today
Yeah.
on Barstool
2.
Sportsbook.
Well, that's trending the right way, boys.
So I'm going for it.
Got the pros. Well,
Yeah.
we should go on money line both, like our boy said. We're a little money line parlay both, a little sprinkle, get plus 480. You can
You know who?
10 to
You know who I
148.
realized wasn't quite ready is Fudge.
Yeah.
That's the Auburn game showed like now he's gonna have some moments where but the Auburn game showed me like okay, because he didn't play very much in that game, you know. And we
Well,
A lot
I
of guys
mean-
kind of got swallowed up.
no,
in the loss of the
I'm not
sauce.
saying a bad thing. I'm
No,
not saying a
no.
bad thing. I'm just saying that like that was the first test of like okay,
Yeah.
we got to figure this thing out, boys. We got to man up a little bit, and they needed that. That was good.
Same thing happened.
I'm excited.
to Imwani. It felt like because when he dunked it, you were like, "Where has he been?"
He made a three,
He made
too,
a
though.
couple threes. Yeah,
Yeah,
but he just.
and I know Will says that his 3-point shooting is really good. Like
Yeah.
it's gotten a lot better. So
He's
I'd like
hoping
to,
he's hoping him and Murray can
Yep,
really.
I'd like to
and
see
hopefully
that.
Murray can get back.
how long do you think he's out?
Yeah,
Hamstring,
it's a hammy,
coach.
it's tricky,
Hamstring
but-
on a basketball player. It's
Yeah, but here's my thing with the hamstring on the basketball player. Like, I don't know. I'm different. I feel like the long strides, like in football, like I feel like that takes
Definitely.
more toll on the hamstring
the
than
sliding.
yeah. If your foot gives out,
that's
I
what you
guess that
get.
makes sense. Yeah,
Worst one to pull. Groin is my
Groin.
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 groin. I had a
I
groin. I
mean,
ripped my groin. I ripped
the
it
ha-
on the.
Off the
I
bone.
strained it. Not off the bone. I strained it on
Wedding night.
the I don't know what it's called, but it's like not the tendon, but every time I would move, if my knee would get outside of my body, it would shoot down to my
Nerve?
ankle. The nerve. That's the word I was looking for. It was on the nerve. So like every time I would get outside of my body, dude, it was 17. It was the end of the baseball season. I had played through it for like a month, 4 or 5 weeks. We had 6 games left, and the ball hit down the line, and I went and it kicked off the wall this way, and I went to open,
Ugh.
and it like went to my toes, and I like got on a knee, threw the ball on the ground. I was the one time that I like had to walk off the field, like the trainer had to come and get me. It was not good.
Did you arm over, or would you?
No,
like,
I
walk hand
walked
in
out. Like
hand?
once that pain went away, like once the initial shock, I was fine, but I mean it still hurt, you know. So I had to do some rehab.
How far did this man get around the bases while you were rolling around?
Oh, I got it in. I mean, he got a double. It was gonna be a double, but
It wasn't like you
I
were
hit
down.
it. I threw it and like fell.
Oh,
I'm like,
that's the
Not
worst.
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
That's
not
the
good.
worst.
Not good.
All right, have a great day. Go Chevrolet drives us.
Hopefully, I'll never pull my groin again. Like, there's nothing I should be doing where that happens.
How old are you?
29.
Oh yeah, you got a couple of pulls left.
I think the Achilles is next. I can feel
Don't
it.
say don't put that in the. Don't do
It-
that.
It just feels.
That's
a
the
little
worst
wonky.
one.
I know.
I
It
snapped-
happened to him.
I snapped mine at 33.
Asian athletes.
No, just to pick up
Just
basketball.
gotta
games.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
Did they
Sunday
keep
night.
playing without you?
You gotta stretch it, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta,
Need a fifth.
I drove myself home.
Of course you did.
you gotta
I
stretch the
didn't- I had
calf.
no
you gotta
idea.
roll the calf. The Achilles comes from the
calf?
calf and the foot.
I tried to fight it. I tried to think like to myself, like I think I pulled my calf muscle. I was like, I think I pulled my calf muscle. Like after it was all said, it was.
Oh, so
'cause
it
it was
wasn't a complete tear.
Oh, coach, it was it
Rolled
rolled up.
How do you think that you pulled your calf then?
Young,
Smoking enough
dumb.
weed.
Could you
Yeah,
walk on
right? Well, that's what happened.
The
So I
drop
mean,
foot?
like, yeah. Well, I mean,
When your foot doesn't work anymore.
no, it doesn't foot. I mean, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. You
doesn't
can't go
work.
up and down. Like,
I thought
My foot
I
is
thought I
dead.
got tripped. Like I was playing basketball, and it was so.
that's what they say. It says like someone shoots you in the.
It was like I got tripped, and I was so like we were playing full court basketball. We were at a Breck gym on a Sunday night playing in this league that we played in every Sunday
Nobody
for a couple
should be out
years.
there.
Nobody should be there.
when I'm done. When I'm done.
I'm
with baseball, I
walking
can't
down
wait
the
for that.
sideline, like I'm in the game, but like there's all the action's happening under the rim, and the guy like shoots it up, and the defender knocks it back, and I'm walking down the sideline, and I just turn to run and go get the ball. I mean, just to turn and just run, and when I did, I thought somebody tripped me. Like I thought,
Wow.
and I
Did you
fell.
fall?
Yeah, I fall down onto the ground, and when I got up, I still don't realize that I'm this messed up. I'm like, damn. And I go to take the step on the foot, and I can't get my hands down in front of me to protect me, like from, and I just slam like my
Face?
chest,
Oh.
and then like I catch my face from hitting, but when I roll over, I'm like the Claps jersey color, you know, like I'm pale white, like the guy that's standing over me is like, bro, what's up? Like you're. And I
You
looked
dying?
at I was like, I think I just snapped my Achilles. And he was like, you would know. Like there was a physical therapist there. He was like, you would know. And I was like,
I
it
know,
does-
this is me knowing.
Yeah, I was like,
I know,
I can't
I'm
walk.
telling you,
was
I
like,
know.
I can't walk. And so I drive home with my opposite foot.
Oh, that was awful.
Opposite foot.
dangerous is that?
And I get back to the house, and I'm like fighting it mentally. I'm thinking like, there's.
I don't want to go to the
Yeah,
go
I'm
to the
gonna have to
hospital.
surgery, do all this. I'm like, let me just see if I can wake up tomorrow and everything
Just
will be
go
okay,
okay.
bro.
Oh no.
Just worry
And
about
I
this
go
tomorrow.
to sleep, wake up, and I go to see Dr. Bankston, and I'm sitting like this, and I'm like talking to him. He's like, "Hey, how are you?" And I'm like limping in, you know. He's like, "So tell me what happened." I said, "I was playing basketball," and I'm like talking to him, and I'm like, and I think I tore my, and like I got my sock right there. He goes, "Oh, you tore your Achilles?" You know, no doubt you did. I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Well, it's sitting right there."
Rolled all the way out like
He
a
was
fruit
like-
roll up.
he was like-
Jesus.
He was like, "That's it right there."
Jesus.
And I was like, "Oh my god!" And I mean, within 2 days, I was in surgery.
How long was the recovery?
A year.
Yeah.
And
Were you doing like rehab every day?
I
or was
wasn't
it-
doing Kobe rehab on my, you know what I mean? But I was, I was 33, and I still thought that I had some
Juice.
life in me.
That's
you know
my
what I
biggest.
mean?
That's the one I'm worried about the most.
How old are you?
32.
32. But I'm not worried about ripping it now. I'm just worried about like at some point
Yeah.
when I'm done.
Yeah.
But I do a lot of I do a lot of self care on the calf.
Banks had told me the worst re-tear he ever saw was somebody was and and all of you young dads out there, the most common way to tear your Achilles, according to Dr. Bankston, who handled my
throwing
surgery,
a
was my
curveball
doctor.
too young.
No, it's chasing your kids around the house, Jordan
Oh,
Peck,
yeah.
and them being, the
Ankle
little
biters.
cars, the little things that you
Hot
step
Wheels?
on or something, and it'll tear your Achilles. He said, but the worst that he ever saw was a guy that had just gotten over an Achilles tear, was in his backyard, kind of jogging after his son, and stepped into a hole, and had,
Damn.
like shredded it
again.
again.
There's a kid.
Take the leg.
There's a kid that I played with this year. He was a first round pick from Missouri State, right? Third baseman. Signs, rips his Achilles.
Oh,
Rehabbing,
no.
gets it all the way back, about to start playing,
Rips the other one?
rips it again, same one. So now he's ripped 2 Achilles. So he hasn't played baseball in 3 years. Then you
Oh
had
my
COVID.
God.
So he's at the alternate site in COVID,
signed.
right? So he didn't resign. I mean, they own, like, when you get drafted, a team has you for 6 years basically in the minor leagues until you're a minor league free agent. So he is goes to the whatever, like the whatever they call it.
Taxi squad?
Yeah, the taxi squad deal, like the alternate site. Plays really well there, but it's alternate site. You're not playing real games. He gets put on the roster because he was a first rounder and they whatever. And I played with him this year in AAA, and this kid can smash. He can hit, and so he brought his way all the way back, made it to the big leagues this year. Got to the big leagues, played well. You could tell he still had some issues with like moving around a little bit sometimes, and he got better as it. But that was his first full season. They put him in AAA, and he raked. I was happy. I was pumped for him. I love hearing. But 2 Achilles as a young 21, 22-year-old, that's a tough thing to overcome.
That's head and hands.
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but he did. I mean, he hits the ball.
A very common thing is to re-tear. You know, like it's not as uncommon as you would think to re-tear the Achilles like during rehab, because you
don't know
the first time you run, Coach.
You feel like a giraffe.
I mean, you are so just unconfident. You know what I mean? You're just so like, this doesn't feel right.
Old man
stretching.
jog.
I mean, he put like a Kevlar bulletproof vest is what my Achilles is now. It's like a strand of that.
You should be way more confident in that than your brittle ligaments.
I mean, now it feels.
Do you feel like it's stronger than your other one?
I do.
Have you played basketball since?
No. I mean, I've played.
Like not a pickup game.
Yeah, I can't get into it. Yeah, I mean, I've done it, but I cannot go full speed and get into like a pickup game.
I'll tell you what. The minute I'm done playing baseball and I'm retired and I'm not done anymore,
it's
I'm
over?
not playing. I am. No, it's not over. I am playing. I will be the
going to the 3-on-3
international All-American ancient athlete.
Okay.
And if I'm on the basketball court, Coach, I'm playing hard. I can't wait.
Wow.
I can't wait.
Watch out for Mikey down there.
3-on-3 with the
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, we have hopefully about 5 more years of that.
Jack, how are we looking on that 3-on-3?
Where is he?
He's over there.
Right here.
We gotta work on it. Gotta talk a little more smack.
We need a third.
I heard you're wet.
I guess good jumper outside.
I know you like
Yeah.
to get wet.
Hey, easy on the scouting report.
Sorry.
This is the guy you need to worry about.
Easy.
Tell them that.
Jack's not an issue. He's no problem. All right. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the Maravich Center and the bowl game. Boot up. We'll talk to you this afternoon. Come back with us right here on the Jordy Culotta Show.
Noah's been training me, just in case.
Is he?
Yeah, been shooting around a little bit.
All right.
Just got to get in shape.
What y'all got the rest of the day? I'm coming back. I just got to go. I'm going to go hit.